right. All right. So welcome everybody. We're kind of jump starting this stream a little early here today. So, and don't mind here. I want to thank everybody for coming out. Thanks, Richard, Kem, Tyler Boone. Good to see you, buddy. Radio Gooey, Scott, the Realist, Skills. Awesome. And Crypto Beast News. Welcome to the chat, guys. So thank you for joining. And I want to introduce our special guest here. We are joined today by Gambling Savant.
Hello, everybody. Thank you, Codeward, for inviting me on. I'm very excited to be here. It's really nice too to already hear some familiar names in the chat. You know, the community is a lot tighter than most. I can say that for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's amazing the community that we have, and I think that's one of the great things that makes like Casino Coins such an amazing project is the community. Like the team has been phenomenal, but like the community helps what makes it, you know? Like everybody's so helpful, working together, trying to make everything like, well, teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Absolutely. And what I can say about that just personally, when I really understood the team and the makeup of the individuals that jumped in so quickly to launch this project forward with the assistance of Daniel and Matthew and everybody else, that drives massive confidence. If you take anything else in life, any other sector of life, and you want to talk about community, well, it typically takes many months or possibly even years or decades to really create what you would call community, or in this case, the Casino Coin Nation, right? And we're talking weeks or several months where I know a lot of people on a first name basis. Codeward, you and myself have talked and chatted throughout the last several months, and it's a bond and a general understanding of this group of people that I've never truly been involved in, especially in this type of time frame, you know, which shows a lot about Casino Coin in and of itself, in my opinion, you know. So there's a lot of power. That's a lot of power behind that aspect, I think.
I completely agree. I already said it. It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
The community with everybody helping out, and not just with like when it was a swap and so forth. Like it's even still now, we see it in Discord. Everybody's helping out. It's like, hey, how can I do ledger? How can I put my CSC on a ledger? And people are like, hey, yo, Codeward's got a video for that. And I'm like, yeah, like
exactly.
I don't need the credit, but like, yeah, like
sure.
Thanks for helping out. You guys are awesome. So
absolutely, yeah. You know, and this is just the beginning as well, right? I mean, we know where we're headed as a community, as the CSC Nation. We know where we're headed. We know more or less where the project is headed with all the individuals that are joining in, individuals just like JC Collins. I mean, he's a substantial part of the community, of course. And his latest blog, honestly, the one that was released today, is my favorite by far. Just the way he worded everything, and the, you know, using XRP and the XRP ledger to really shine light on how Casino Coin is going to be integrated onto the XRP ledger, and its use case really was pretty profound, in my opinion.
Oh, definitely. I completely agree. Like I was sitting there trying to think about a few things, and like it just basically brought clarity today. I was like, wow, okay, I didn't even think of it like that.
Yes. Interoperability, keyword.
Yeah, exactly it.
It's significant. So I'm just so enthused. It's raw excitement. It's pure joy to be a part of the community and to be an investor. And in my case, just to be a small content creator. I just started my channel, 4 or 5 months ago. This is a whole new industry, if you want to call it for me, just in general, be a content creator and trying to vocalize and not be a spokesperson necessarily. I'm not going to take that title, but I do want to get the information out to everybody about Casino Coin. I'm very passionate about it already. And this is just a awesome journey, you know.
Well, definitely like an advocate.
An advocate, absolutely.
Yeah.
Sure.
No,
Totally.
I get what you mean. I'm sitting there talking with people at work, or I go down and see my parents or whatever, chilling with a friend, and I'm like, "Hey, bud, by the way,
Yeah.
let me talk to you about a casino coin here."
No doubt. Yeah. And you've done the same, you're on the same trail as me, more or less, with jumping into YouTube and putting yourself out there with your live streams. And really, that's effort, right? The
Yeah,
only thing we can control as individuals is our amount of effort, regardless as to what we're putting it towards, right? And I'm trying to be consistent and put forward that effort for many reasons, but the main reason is just the pure enjoyment for the space and for casino coin specific, you know.
oh, completely agree. And that's the thing is like that's exactly as you were saying, the effort that's put in, it's basically a self-fulfilling prophecy to a degree, because the more effort that we put in, the more awareness we bring to the space, the more likely we are to succeed and see the project go where we want to see it go. And eventually when we do end up having like the CSC lobby going live and like live utility and everything, basically all the efforts that we put in help drive that success.
Absolutely.
So yeah, definitely. And that's what I actually talk to the girlfriend about sometimes there as well, is like, you know, she doesn't always understand like the effort that I'm putting in, how it kind of falls back on itself because it's not
Sure.
like immediate reward, so to speak.
Totally. I totally get that. And a lot of that relates to the YouTube. You know, you start out with your first subscriber, and then
Yeah.
you hit 50, and then you hit 80 and 100, you're triple digits. And it's a road less traveled for many people. To even get to the 1,000 subscriber mark is difficult, and you're well on your way, as I know. And it's not easy, and you're putting out content on a daily basis or weekly basis, and you want to stay consistent and have content that is relevant and rather substantial, or at least have, in your case, you do a lot of the live streaming now where you're integrating yourself with real people and people who are following you and Casino Coin, and that are involved in, you know, wanting to learn about the XRPL and so on and so forth. Right. So, yeah, it's, you plant the seed, and the tree and the fruit that you bear can take some time, but it's always worth it. Right. So I'm in the same boat, and I'm loving the journey. I can tell you that it's fun.
Oh, definitely. Likewise. It's different. It really is. Like I never thought I'd end up doing live streaming, and it took quite a bit for me to get outside my comfort zone. Like doing the how-to videos was like one step, like going outside the comfort zone, but going like through a live stream and then showing my face to the world and you
Right.
know, potential ramifications, so to speak, of that, right? Like
Absolutely.
it's it is definitely not like once you've done it, it's like, okay, it's done, it's dealt with. There ain't no going back now.
Sure.
But getting
Exactly.
across that initial hurdle definitely is a challenge. So, but
Yeah. And
yeah,
I can see with certain topics, you know, certain channels, I think, in my opinion, now you have to have some passion for whatever you're talking about to really get to a certain point that you can be satisfied with, I think. But these topics that we're talking about, I know that you have passion for cryptocurrency, certainly. And I'm way newer to the space compared to individuals like yourself, but it was an instant um, just love for this space and the opportunity and so on and so forth. It didn't take me very long to understand where I wanted to go with things and my level of excitement for cryptocurrency in general. Being a poker player of almost 2 decades and understanding and risk management and calculations and odds and statistics, and then taking cryptocurrency, seeing the developments taking place on a global scale, um, I jumped right in. It just suits me for the mental stimulation and the problem solving and all of the excitement that comes with it, and I'm sure that you can relate to that, I would think.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly it. And like as even Mason mentions in chat here, like pretty soon it is going to be overwhelming moving forward in a sense that there's a lot coming for Casino Coin. Like once the CSC lobby goes live, once we have partners being announced regularly, exchange listings, like there it's going to come to a point where it's going to be dang near impossible to keep up with. And so,
Absolutely.
yeah, definitely having content creators out there. I don't like the word influencers because I'm not here to influence anybody to buy, like
Likewise.
strictly for educational, which is why I like my how-tos. But that's exactly it. Once we have more content creators, there's going to be more than enough stuff to cover. And I think eventually different content creators will find their own niche in what they end up covering. Like we'll have some that cover price action and so forth, others that are covering, partnership announcements, others that are talking about exchange listings and so forth. So
Sure.
I think eventually it is going to be like a challenge to keep up with everything, much like we see with the XRP community and the developments with XRPL there. Like
Right.
there's so much coming down the line with that. Like it's hard to keep up with that as it is.
It really is.
Yeah.
I agree with that totally. And I think, having just written down some basic notes here, I think where the community overall likely stands, and this is going to be different for every individual, but I kind of wanted to at some point during the stream here is just give an overall explanation or illustration as to where we stand currently. We've had so many developments that have taken place, a laundry list that's very lengthy of things that Casino Coin has accomplished. I mean, it's quite stunning. It's very substantial, and it's nobody can compare, in my opinion, no project can compare to the efforts and the successes that Casino Coins had in such a short time frame with the revamping of this token and this project. And just for viewers and investors alike, and we don't have to answer it in great detail, but where do we stand? I know that announcements are likely coming soon with casino relationships. That's really going to be the thing that kicks off the project to levels that we haven't seen yet, right? So we don't need, I'm not putting you to the test on answering and giving exact dates, but is that coming soon? I mean, we know it is, we've heard it is. Is that kind of where the next threshold is announcements for relationships with casinos?
I believe so. That's what was at least hinted towards in the most recent blogs, is that like Tuesday that just went by on the 6th was like the discussion or the announcement, so to speak, of the back end or the back office.
Sure.
Right. And then I think it was hinted toward that this Tuesday coming will be the announcement of the CSE lobby itself, which the announcement of the CSE lobby, whether or not that comes with the partnership announcements, might be, I'm not sure if that goes hand in hand. Would love to hear from the team in regards to that. But again, like, they have their schedule on how they're rolling out the information. So just kind of got to roll with the punches on that. But I think just the announcement of the CSE lobby going live is going to be a substantial hurdle, because like even if I know they mentioned that there's 2 casinos that are live out the gate. Again, still waiting on the names on that, but
right.
Once that does end up going live and we have those casinos, there is utility, it is live, we are go.
Right. And it would make sense for that to be released first, because that's going to be how we integrate to direct correlation with the casinos.
Yep.
And actually utilizing the CSC token and the technology, right? So yeah, that makes perfect sense. And it's beyond exciting. And that's just going to be the focal point of all of the lead up to that announcement. What a day, what a celebration that's going to be, where we can actually, the Casino Coin token becomes essentially a tangible item, where it's not just discussed, it's not just on paper or behind the scenes. It's a tangible item in a sense where we are using the technology as gamers, as gamblers, as investors, and supporters of the project. It's just incredible.
And that's exactly it, because once it's live, it's not even a proof of concept. It is a live project that we can be like, hey, check this out, casinos. This is what's happening. This is live. This is working. This is a fully integrated suite where you have access to a pool of KYC customers. You don't need to do the KYC. You don't need to worry about that. We already have that handled. And the fact that we'll have those casinos going, and that beyond proof of concept, as I said, it's just, it's
Great
a
way to
step
put
in the
it.
right direction. And
Yeah,
it'll be something that we can actually showcase to the online casinos, or eventually, would love to see brick and mortar casinos. Uh,
absolutely.
one
And
thing at a time,
what
right?
a sales concept as far as here's your product. I mean, you almost don't even need anybody to represent or be put in a high escalated situation with sales. It's like, hey, entities, establishments, casinos, everybody involved, here it is. We can tell you, we can show you the list of benefits. You're going to see them firsthand with our many thousands of individuals who are not only invested, but are also going to be using the product. I was thinking about this while we're on topic. What if the entire world had a 401k type vehicle linked to casinos? I mean, aren't casinos going to be licking their chops knowing that the casino coin community and investors that hold these tokens, it's not now just a investment that is set off to the side to appreciate over many decades. It's a lot of people's savings and investment money that is now potentially in the pockets of casinos. Not that the goal is to gamble it all away, believe me, right?
Oh
But
yeah.
the casinos know that they have access to every last token that the individuals hold.
Yep.
Now, the way we combat that to be responsible and taking the approach of Gambling Savant, the channel that I operate, is to sharpen our edge as investors, as gamblers, as poker players, and just in life in general. You have bankroll management, you have features that we are integrating to control our, whether it's emotions or decision making. We can put restrictions on our risk,
Yeah.
which is how we combat the fact that we are literally exposing all of our investment to the casinos. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. So what I understand with the CSC lobby is it does implement the responsible gaming aspect. So as a player myself, I'll be able to set limits on myself where I'm like, okay, you know what? I know I have a problem that once I start losing, I want to keep playing. I want to make my money back, but I know that's not always feasible. And,
Sure.
myself being a father of four here, like, can't
Likewise.
be throwing money away.
Yes.
So with that being said, I can place those responsible gaming limits on myself, which then do limit me. Of course, like, you can skirt them if that's really what you want to do, but it at least puts that more like a mental stop loss, if you will.
Absolutely.
Right.
There's lots of value there as a gambler, as a poker player. They're in the poker world, they call it tilt, right? Where you go on tilt, you take a bad beat. Someone hits a 1 or 2 outer. They have a 2 to 4 or 5% chance of hitting their card on the river, and they hit it, right? Massive pot. You've got a large sum of money in the middle, and you've been sitting there for 4.5 hours waiting for this opportunity, and someone pulls a 1 outer on you. That can tilt you to levels that are quite extreme. And I've personally witnessed it and experienced it over the last 18, 19 years of playing poker specifically. At heart, I'm not personally a huge gambler in the sense that just the pure raw gamble of taking massive risk. That's not really where I lie. I like to take risk, but I like calculated risk
Oh
and
yeah.
hedging my bet, of course, right? So yeah, you take the emotional factor out. You can really be strict on your bankroll management to combat the fact that we are literally exposing our entire investment potentially to the online casinos and brick and mortar, which is the whole point of the project. But the fact that we can have control over our own destiny is paramount, and it's just a very substantial feature. And I think people need to understand really the inner workings of that to, be comfortable linking their casino coin to a casino and utilizing the token for its use case.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. Like it's phenomenal everything that's going on. Like, sorry, I'm just seeing a couple things coming up in chat here.
Sure.
So as we actually just had something from Mason come through where they sent me a message on Discord, and I guess one of the operators actually contacted them and are looking forward to or having a discussion with them and interacting. So that's actually pretty cool. So that's one of our community members in chat. They're coming up as Mason, but via Discord, they're the Mega Man CSC.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So yeah,
I know the name.
Yeah. So they actually had an operator reach out to them, which, hey, like that is awesome.
There we go.
Thanks for bringing that up, Mason. That's cool.
That's big news.
Yeah, definitely good news. So like it as you were saying, like now it's coming to a point where we're actually having operators reach out to us, which is really cool, because that's even before we've actually got to a launch of the CSC lobby now. So if we're already looking at having operators reaching out to us, our efforts obviously are not in vain. And I think like it's phenomenal what's happening. It's mind blowing, and that's where was it? Someone was just mentioned. Yeah, Crypto Beast News here. It's crazy. Like, he's literally got to turn his brain off because like the more he thinks about it, the more he wants to buy. And I'm the same way. Like, yes. I'm at the point where like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little behind on my credit cards, but like, it's in a manageable state. Don't worry. I know.
Sure. But sure, I know the feeling. Believe me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for good reason, right? Yeah. I mean, when you're looking at opportunity, whether it's career-wise or investment opportunities, just in general, these are types of opportunities that you need to strike while the iron's hot, because the window is closing on a daily basis. I mean, that window of opportunity is going to slowly get down to where, yes, it's always going to be a good investment because of the community, because of the use case and utility. And being that, I was talking to my father about this. He's an investor in casino coin like myself, and we're both very enthused. This project, compared to XRP, even you have XRP as being, it wasn't designed for the retail market, right? Technically, I mean, yes, I'm invested in XRP. I know you are as well. Lots of us are who are invested in casino coin too, because they go hand in hand in many ways. But the retail market and the situation at hand for user, operator, and casino coin themselves, it's a win-win-win for everybody involved. It's not just a institutional money or where it's blocked off in a very specific niche sector, like XRP. Even though XRP is extremely substantial, casino coin has that thrill about it because of the fact that we can use this tangible cryptocurrency, this token, and its use case is, this might be a strong statement and you may disagree, but I think the use case and utility is even more substantial than XRP on a smaller scale. Even though XRP will handle potentially trillions of dollars, I think the use case with the XApp, with casinos, gaming, potentially using the CSC token for purchases in any given resort casino destination for booking rooms, shows, food, apparel. You could link it all together. I mean, I don't know where it stops. I don't know where the ceiling is for the actual use case of casino coin compared to a project which is extremely substantial like XRP. And
Oh,
that
I
could,
understand exactly what you're
you
saying. Like,
know,
I, I, I don't know if I like personally, I don't know if I would go so far as saying that like it could dwarf XRP because like XRP is tackling a huge market, right? Like
sure.
gambling is huge too. Don't get me wrong, but and at that like it's hard to it's hard to quantify because as you said, like it's not just gambling. It's, booking rooms, reward systems, bonuses,
Right.
breakbacks, like there's referral systems there. Like there's so much that could be tackled using that it's mind blowing to try to think about because like there's no way that you can really grasp the full picture of what it could be used for. And that's the thing is the potential is that it's not limited.
Right. And so the magnitude of XRP is likely going to be much greater if it goes full scale, right? That's for sure. The way I live in Colorado and we have aspen trees, right? Aspens are the largest living organism on the planet. The root system, each aspen tree is grown from the root system of the current living tree, right? So you could take a red oak or the largest tree in the world, and that could be XRP, right? You have this massive, substantial, huge trunk and deep root system. That could be like the XRP effect. And then you have the aspen groves where there's aspen spread out for many dozens of acres or hundreds of acres, right? And they keep dividing and multiplying off of each other. I kind of feel like that's more of the casino coin effect where we don't know where it's going at the end of the day. The team knows where things are headed in the direction, but I think it could develop into a project that is going to be a mind blower.
Oh yeah, no, I completely agree. Like, because as you said, it's just branching off, and like you have XRP at the heart of it all, and not even just CSC, but we're looking at other projects coming on the XRPL, like Sologenic, that's looking to tokenize all the stocks, bonds, ETFs, and things like that. So
Sure.
like there is like as like Brad Garlinghouse has said, or even Vice, like do one thing really well,
Sure.
right?
Absolutely.
That's what we're seeing is we have like XRP taking on the finances and things like that. We have Sologenic taking on the stocks and tokenization of bonds and all that jazz. And then we have Casino Coin coming into the mix where it's like, we're looking to tackle a whole new vertical and a whole new use case. And I think that's where a lot of people fall in the idea is that like we see people that are saying, oh, well, just use XRP or, you know, it doesn't have a use case because like you can like casinos are already integrating Bitcoin or XRP or whatnot. And it's like, okay, yes, they are, but what they're doing is not what Casino Coin's aiming to do. There's a
Absolutely.
whole nother aspect that people are failing to see that it's like, well, yeah, sure, you can go ahead and use any coin that you want. Go ahead, integrate XRP. But here's the thing you have a dispute from a player who just won a jackpot, and the casino's like, well, no, it malfunctioned. Your play is void. Well, okay, who's going to step in on the behalf of like you using XRP? Like,
Right.
no companies there, not XRPL Labs, not Ripple or anybody there. But
Absolutely.
that ends up happening on like when utilizing Casino Coin, the CSC team's there to be like, hey, yo, let's mitigate this. Let's, work together
I
and get
agree.
it figured out. And it's not even just that. It's like there's so many different facets that basically end up getting touched on in there that like as we've discussed you have the KYC pool of players, you have the opportunity for bonus structures, you have the rate backs, the referral systems, the, down the road where you're, say you end up down in Vegas and you're looking at the MGM Grand and you're like, hey, you know what? I want to book a room. Here's my, would it be like 50K CSC or whatever it is,
Sure. Yeah,
whatever the price is.
absolutely.
But yeah, and like, there's the other aspect that I see people talking about is that, oh, they can just turn around, create their own token on the XRPL. Yeah, yeah, they can. But here's the thing, it's like, as a condo owner, I don't mow my own lawn. I don't trim the edges. I don't manicure the bushes or any of
Point.
that. I hire somebody else to do that for me.
There you go.
And
There you go.
right. And so like that's the whole thing is like there's like I don't know if it's like Maxiism or tribalism or short-sighted or what it is, but a lot of people get caught up in someone's already doing this, or well, you could just do this,
Right.
not seeing the big picture of what's being tackled or what's being accomplished.
Well, and I don't want to stray too far away from the main objective of Casino Coin and what the token is set out to accomplish, right? But don't you think that user operators take MGM? Okay, for example, let's just say we're integrated into their system and we're using Casino Coin on their properties. Don't you think that the conversations between Casino Coin and MGM are going to be like, hey, Casino Coin, can we use CSC for this or that? We've already got it set up. It's effective. It's great for our customers. It's safe. It's cashless as far as you don't have to touch it. It's protected with the Zum wallet. We have control over our own holdings as users. It's very fast and it's all the rest of it, right?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I think there's going to be conversations that arise just naturally because it's like, hey, let's use the Casino Coin token here and there and integrate it into our gift shops. And why wouldn't we? All of our Casino Coin holders or people that even come on site for the first time and get registered and linked in with the whole apps aspect and are using Casino Coin, now they have it. Now it's not going anywhere. The casinos know that every person that's stepping foot on their property either knows about Casino Coin or is currently using it. So why would they not take advantage of the immediate transaction, the safety aspect? And touching on the safety aspect, who wants to walk around the Las Vegas Strip with potentially thousands of dollars of cash in their pocket and get robbed?
Exactly. Like, not even just walking around the Vegas Strip, but going from the poker table to the cage with, $250,000 in chips. Like,
sure.
And like, there's so many aspects to take into account that, like, from a security standpoint and safety, even that, like, it's another great bonus. And like, this also brings back to the interoperability that you're talking about, is the fact that, like, as I was saying before, even if casinos do turn around and develop their own coin, like someone mentioned last week, a CDC or a casino digital currency. So you have MGM coin, you have Caesar's coin, and
Sure.
you turn around and you're just want a buttload of money in poker at MGM. You want to go blow some on the slots at Caesar's, using CSC as
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. And so like it's phenomenal, like everything that's happening and what's going on. And as Mason said, like, XRPL is basically pushing towards becoming the, how do you say, well, yeah, basically the Ethereum of everything. Like,
Yeah.
so, and that's what one thing that, like, a little sidestepping Casino Coin a little bit here and more touching straight on the XRPL aspect is like, might be a bit of a conspiracy theory, and I apologize if I'm going a little far, but
Run with it.
I've honestly looked at this space a while for the last few years, and the more I look at it, the more I see is that XRPL or the XRP ledger is I think like at least the XRP ledger itself is going to be the one, so to speak. And so, as Mason says, with the Ethereum of everything, is that, we see Bitcoin being cashless payments. Okay, well, XRP kind of took that. We're looking at tokenization of stocks and bonds. We got Casino Coin. We've also got, there's one that I saw, Chorus X, which is looking to pay entertainers and so forth. So, like, with that being said, what I see even with Flare and so forth and the integration there is that eventually we'll end up seeing the XRPL being at the hub of everything. And more or less, what I kind of see is these other chains like Ethereum, Doge, whatnot, being kind of like proof of concepts. And then once they've been properly developed, vetted, tested, that ends up being brought over onto the XRPL in one way, shape, or form. So like we're kind of see that with Flare, and we see the integration of Doge, CSC, Selenium, and like all these other projects. And then like main top tier projects like XRP, Sologenic, and these are basically directly on the XRPL. So as those technologies and use cases are developed, we end up seeing that integrated onto the XRPL, basically being, I don't know.
I totally agree. Yeah, I know where you're going with that. I can understand your logic there.
Yeah, it's
being the hub, I think, is the most general way of understanding. And for most people, if you want to kind of sum it up, maybe being XRPL being the hub,
exactly,
and being able to handle and so where I'm looking for, coordinate all of these different moving parts, more or less, I guess.
Yep, exactly. The being interoperable with everything.
Right. And JC, I do want to touch on that again. He put out it's an incredible blog today. I recommend everybody read that blog. It struck home and resonated with me very much so, compared to even his other brilliant pieces. I mean, this one was very substantial. It makes sense, and it really gives a clear understanding and insight as to where just the world overall, the financial system and Casino Coin included, where things are really headed on a global scale. And everything comes down to the timelines with this space, right? I mean, we understand as XRP enthusiasts and Casino Coin enthusiasts where things are likely headed. We can make an extremely educated guess on what the outcome is going to be. We just don't know the timeline exactly. We don't know the pace at which it's going to happen. And is it 2021? Is it 2023? I don't know, but it doesn't matter. Yeah. Essentially, it doesn't matter if you're not a day trader or a swing trader only looking for a quick in and out opportunity and you believe. I always state in my videos, I don't ever predict price. It's very rare. I may take someone else's price prediction and throw it out there for fun. I don't believe in price predictions because it's irrelevant. If you believe in the project, you believe in the technology and the group of people in Casino Coin's case that are behind the scenes running the show, that's all you need to know. Where else do you want to put your money, your hard-earned money for that matter, when you're comparing Casino Coin, regardless of price? Where are you more comfortable putting your hard-earned dollars? Into Bitcoin? I mean, not for me. That can be argued till the end of time, but there's no comparison when I relate Casino Coin to many other projects, if not all of them, in my humble opinion.
I completely agree. I lack the words to properly explain, or emphasize even, because I
understand.
There's so much to take into account that trying to find the words
I get it. It's not easy. And even if you found the right word, you'd be searching for a even more substantial word that's more profound. I get it, because it's mind blowing. I mean, I truly mean when I say that it's second to none. There's no second place. There's Casino Coin. Casino Coin is the king of the jungle, is number one, and that's it. And not only because of the technology or because being integrated on the XRPL, all this starts with the people.
Yeah.
Ultimately, it's the people running the show, and it's the people, the Casino Coin Nation, that has more influence than possibly anything. And the technology is there. It speaks for itself. Once an operator, like you stated, once they see the technology firsthand, whether it's a potential pilot program type simulation or it's live, what more does somebody have to tell them to influence their decision? Every aspect of the project makes perfect sense once again for everybody involved. It's not one-sided, which is very important for the success of the project. I think it's not just for the casinos. It's not just for the user. It's not just for Casino Coin. Everybody wins. And that's what makes for a very long-lasting project and a long-lasting relationships with this technology and the people involved, right?
Yeah.
In my opinion. So,
and yeah, that's exactly it. Like, even as like Mason says here, like, he hasn't found a community so excited and dedicated to a project out of the hundreds that he's visited or checked out. And, and that's the thing is like Casino Coin, like, we're growing fast. And we see that even the CSC Twitter account, it's grown by like couple hundred a day.
right.
And yeah, like I understand what Chris is saying in chat here, that time does matter. And he is right. We
Certainly.
can't sit there and lollygag.
Certainly.
We need to get the word out, and we do need to get the ball rolling.
Totally.
Because yeah, crypto is gaining traction. And I agree, Chris. Like, you're right. But again, crypto is gaining traction in a sense of simple payments. They'll take your crypto for a payment. But that's where the buck stops.
And that's where my comparison between XRP and CSC came in. It was never to diminish the magnitude or effectiveness of XRP, but the buck kind of does stop in a sense with that division of cryptocurrency with handling payments and liquidity. It's beyond substantial, the amount of money that XRP could potentially handle globally.
Oh yeah.
In the many tens of trillions of dollars potentially, right? I don't know the exact figures, but with Casino Coin, like getting back to that root system deal and the tree aspect where it feeds upon one another, and where does it stop? I don't know. There's a stopping point. I think we could continue to conduct business and scale out and scale into different divisions of the world of gaming, gambling, hotel resorts.
That is exactly it. Because like my girlfriend, she plays like Bingo Blitz,
Okay. Yeah.
And so it's like a Facebook game or whatnot. You can download the app for your phone. Next thing you know, say we look at getting an integration in there, and instead of paying cash or whatnot, you're buying credits and coins or whatnot using CSC or, even some sort of CSC integration, and like, but not just using that as an example, not saying, but
absolutely.
That's exactly it. Is like different mobile games down the road. Like honestly, like I'd love to develop a mobile game where, instead of purchasing just useless tokens in the game, purchasing a token that can not just be used in that game, but I can turn around and use that for something else in the real world. Because like,
right.
I don't buy gems in Clash of Clans. I don't buy, coins or credits in Bingo Blitz or whatnot. To me, it's a waste of money. I don't see the point. Like, it doesn't provide me any value except for a little bit of extra play, but having a level of interoperability where I can turn around and, buy up credits in the game and then be like, okay, well, you know what? I run out of funds here, but I can pull some out of Bingo Blitz, just using that as an example. So like, with that being said, like that's where we keep coming to is like, there's no saying where the buck stops. There is so many different levels of potential that it could achieve there.
Absolutely. And gambling is technically considered gaming, right?
Yep.
Well, then you can take gaming as in video gamers. There's tournaments, there's massive prize pools, as you know. There's gamers that are making a great living playing video games and developing games, and the whole, I don't spend a lot of time in that sector, but I know it's substantial and it's growing rapidly. Who's to say that Casino Coin couldn't be handling or be the representing these tournaments? Casino Coin, these gamers are getting paid through the cryptocurrency token, a CSC, and or that's a whole nother division that is very substantial, that is highly integrated with the advancements of technology, obviously. And it goes hand in hand with that too. I mean, yes, right now the focus, from what I understand, is gambling, and you have to start somewhere, but it's just very interesting and encouraging to really get your mind in the right setting to understand that it's not just, it doesn't stop here. It doesn't, I don't know, there is an end. There's no stop sign. It's just a matter of how far we choose to reach as a project, as a community, and the influence that we can have to represent the project to all these different industries.
Yeah. No, I understand. I understand completely. And like, I understand that it is taking time, and to kind of address Chris in chat here, he's right. Like Betamax was better than VHS, and VHS was adopted faster. But it was like, while Betamax, yes, was better and, kind of got shelved, there were also other aspects to that. It wasn't just the first market thing that kind of brought it down. There was also the cost of production. There was the distribution method, the issue of the Betamax discs breaking on like during shipping and delivery and so forth. So there were also other aspects. And yeah, as Tyler Boone mentions here, first is not always best. Look at Netscape Navigator.
Sure.
Or, Yahoo Search, or
right.
Any countless, Napster or whatnot. Like there's so many that were first to market that are no longer with us today. So while they may first get that initial hype and go forth, do they have the staying power? Do they have the ability to revolutionize the industry that the industries are looking for? Right. And I think that's where, again, like, I mean, no offense, Chris, like it's a bit of the short-sighted, but they're going to beat us to it. It's the fear of missing out. It's FOMO, right? And so
what I would say to combat that is those are rather advanced projects in their own right, but they are very one-dimensional. Casino Coin is very versatile, it seems to me, and not one-dimensional in the aspect that its use case is significant, and its utility and what it can accomplish both for user operator. I think the fact that it's not one-dimensional puts us in a very unique category where we can conduct business on all fronts, and one section of conducting business may advance faster or with more ferocity than another, and it may take some sort of transformation over the next several years, and another leg of the business launches in a different direction and gains more momentum. That's where I've been saying conduct business. I'm phrasing it that way. You can have all the technology in the world sitting here on the table. the casino coin token being placed on the XRPL, the X app, all of it, the long laundry list of benefits of this project. If we can't conduct business, if we can't use the CSC token, it's all deemed worthless. So I always go back to, we have to find a way to conduct business, period, end of story. Now, that being said, I do think the project speaks for itself. I think it's a rather easy sell, if you want to call it that. That being said, time is of the essence. While it's not a race, we want to be professional and effective in our moving forward. At the same time, the ball's rolling and we can't allow it to stop at this point, right? I mean, we're launching. You launch a business, you have a grand opening. I think the 2 casinos that are likely to be announced is the quote unquote grand opening for the project, along with the X app, where both users and operators can use the technology and the functionality of the project, and off we go. It's off to the races. And I think that's when things will really heat up, and we're going to have to hit the ground running to conduct business, as I phrase it, and take care of business and really let this spread like wildfire throughout the industry.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. And I think that's what it comes down to, is like, getting the ball rolling. And we are going to see that, as far as I'm aware, very soon. Mm-hmm. So like, yeah, there will be the payments aspect there, Chris, as you were saying. But sorry,
sure. I know you got the chat going.
But yeah, no, like, so there will be the payments aspect, like that will be good. But like the whole prime and premise of Casino Coin is getting that X app, that the cornerstone, the flagship product launched and going, because that is what's going to sell Casino Coin. Right. Once that is launched, once that is rolling, and the flywheel is spinning, it's there's not going to be slowing it down. It's just going to get faster and faster and more powerful. And so that's where we're seeing is like it. We've had the discussion or the hints towards the lobby going live or very soon. The announcement's supposed to be coming on Tuesday about the CSC lobby. Now, whether or not that's going live, again, we were just discussing, not sure about that. We got to wait for the blog to find out. Be absolutely amazing to see that go live, because not gonna lie, like I have a few CSC put aside that, win or lose, I'm gonna play with them.
Oh, absolutely, me too.
Yeah, so like that, like things are starting, they're rolling. It's a matter of once it's live, I think it's game over, because that's where we can basically go to operators, whether Twitter, email, phoning them up, whatnot, and getting that integration happening. And that's where everything all comes down to, is that, yeah, once we're live and we have that proof of concept and we can show tangible results.
Right. And using what you're saying, proof of concept, right now, the majority of investors are investing on what could be, right? The concept of this project and the potential that lies ahead, because it hasn't launched to full scale yet, right? But look at the market we're dealing with. Now, I've stated this in my last video. I don't know the exact figures. I think the online gambling revenue for any given year is roughly $60 billion. And I think the brick and mortar is in the hundreds of billions of dollars of revenue. That's just for gambling. That's not hotel reservations and restaurants and apparel and shows and all the rest of it that could be integrated at some point, right? So you're talking hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars, if not trillions of dollars, depending on how far we go out with its use case. But we don't have to search for customers. We're not, the money's there.
Yeah.
The money's laying there ready to be utilized on the XRPL through the CSC token. Yeah. And once we go live with the X app and the usage on any given platform with gaming, you also have a whole nother division of investors, if you want to call them that, they're using the product, but they're also quote unquote investors supporting the project, which allows individuals like us to benefit as well.
Yes, and exactly. And to touch on that, I've seen Crypto Crazy mention it like quite a few times on Twitter, and not just on Twitter. And this also addresses your most recent point there, Chris, in regards to payments. Okay. So first and foremost, Chris, in regards to the payments there, a lot of these casinos are already integrating XRP as payment systems. Okay. All they need to do is add the CSC trust line and they can accept CSC for payments too.
Sure.
It's literally just adding the trust line and they're accepting.
Very, very good point.
So the integration aspect for using CSC as payments is basically already there. It's one step away. You just need your developer or their developer to go through and be like, well, we already accept XRP. Let's go ahead and add the CSC trust line. You know what I mean? So
absolutely.
In that regard, that integration isn't that big or that hard. So selling the bigger picture is kind of the like where I think the focus should be. And I agree with the team. Now, with that being said, if you do have ideas, Chris, feel free to like reach out to the team and discuss with them if you have like a solid plan that you can be like, look, if we do this, this, and this, and you are able to help put that plan in action, do it, man. Like that's what it comes down to is building out those relationships, doing what we need to do. And as you said, the team's small. So, you know, having the community pitching in and helping, it's like, this is what we're talking. Like community is helping drive this project. It's not just the team, you know what I mean?
Power comes in numbers.
Exactly. And so what I was meant to say first in regards to Crypto Crazy there is he's mentioned a few times is that, you know, with circulating supply of 40 billion tokens, even if we bump it up to the maximum of the 65 billion supply, right? Not all that's in circulation. And I think it'd be a long time before we even see that in circulation. But even if we do account for that, if every holder held 1 million CSC, that's only what?
Right.
65,000 accounts.
Right.
Right. 65,000 accounts.
Wow.
Now, I'm not going to say what I hold, but I'm going to say that I hold a multiple of that.
Yes, I understand.
So I know there's also other people that are in the same boat where they have multiple million CSC.
Yes.
So that number quickly reduces from 65,000. And next thing you know, you've got maybe, you know, 25.
Limited supply.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's supply and demand, which will drive anything, you know?
Exactly. And that's where it comes to is like, yeah, with like having multiple people holding multiple millions, it reduces the supply. We also have those locked up in staking. Once Flare Finance goes live, even more will be locked up in staking and governance and so forth. Like the level of supply is going to diminish quickly. And that's just with community members and investors hodling and staking.
Totally.
That's not even talking about operators that basically have to hold CSC to pay out prize like winnings.
I was just going to bring that up. I'm glad you touched on it because there's going to have to be a very specific amount of holdings for any given entity for situations like that. I mean, if they want to be able to utilize the technology at full scale and be instant with payment and cost effective with fees and all the rest of it, right? They won't take, if they implement CSC to their infrastructure, they're not going to write an old written check to somebody.
Yeah.
They're paying with CSC immediately. And it'll take place effective immediately, right? I mean, I want to touch on that too. When touchless or trustless storage, we don't have to use a third party to handle our funds. We don't have to keep money in a lockbox. We don't have to have casino coin chips or not casino coin, but casino chips and cash, fiat, laying in hotel rooms in a big wad of cash in our pocket while it's getting stolen. You pull out $100 bill to pay for a dinner and money falls on the floor. I mean, you're walking down a dark alley, you take a wrong turn on the strip somewhere, and you get into an encounter. I mean, these are things that are very substantial. Now, we've been conditioned to think that that's normal, but when you see the other side of the token, no pun intended, where we can use the Zum wallet, it allows us to have full control over our CSC while we're not gaming.
Yeah.
It's safe, it's secure, it's just as fast and easily transferable between casinos and games, online, brick and mortar. That is an attribute that is beyond important and substantial, in my opinion.
No, I completely agree. And that's exactly it. It is like payments is one small aspect of it all.
Right.
Right. And like I understand having those payments in place is, it is integral. Like, I do not discount that at all.
Sure.
But everything else like that comes with it, as you said, like the security, the frame of mind, like the interoperability, the bonus structures, pre-KYC, so you're not having to show your ID at each and every casino or online operator or whatever the case. Like there are so many aspects to take into account.
Well, and yeah, not to cut you off, I apologize.
Oh,
what
no.
I want to say, and not to diminish XRP, I'm very enthused about XRP. It was my first quote unquote love in the world of crypto. I'm an investor. I'm major advocate and supporter of the project, but most investors are only truly excited about XRP. This is my opinion. Take it for what it is. I think they are only very excited about XRP because of price prediction. I mean, the project in and of itself, to most people, like to you and I, maybe we like the inner workings of the technology. Most people don't really care about handling payments, a payment system. Most people don't really care about that. It's not overly exciting, but they hold a token that they bought at 19 cents and they think it's going to upwards of $10,000 a share. We hear all these different figures, right? That's the engineers, the creators of XRP. It was designed to scale out and to be utilized at a $10,000 price. That's where it performs its best, right? More or less. So,
yeah.
So you take XRP, I think a lot of the excitement comes in the dreaming of what could be. Now, I think it's a fantastic investment. Where's the price going? I don't know. I don't know that anybody knows what scale we're going to reach ultimately. But with Casino Coin, there's so many layers to the onion of benefits for the user that are tangible, real life situations that it can resolve. And the benefits, we're all looking for value in life, whether it's purchasing a vehicle or a new pair of tennis shoes, or now we're talking about investments. You want value in your investment, but the value doesn't just come from a monetary sense. It's safety, it's control of your investment, it's streamline, it's the fact that you could use it at any given property on the strip. If you're in Las Vegas, for example, you can go from an online casino playing poker in your hotel room to seconds later having that same money on a blackjack table live at the Bellagio. There's value there. The fact that it handles payments isn't in and of itself exciting. It's great because it's new developing technology and its integration and innovation, but that's not where the community gets truly built. And that's why I think this community is so strong and different from the others, is because of all these variables and these aspects to the project outside of just handling transactions, which is paramount. And that's the fundamentals of the project. I understand, but that's where I'm at with it anyways, mentally,
Oh no, I understand completely. And like, that's what I mean. It's like, yeah, like the payments is an integral part of it, but it goes
Sure.
well beyond that. As like I'm just kind of touching back on what Chris is mentioning, that payments needs to be in every casino, and to do that, you need to get in before it's saturated by every crypto out there. But like that's
Totally.
thing
Yeah.
is like go ahead and saturate it with every crypto because they're going to take it as a payment. That's where the buck stops with those cryptos. The
Yes.
value proposition is not just in the payment system of casino coin, it's everything that we've been discussing, like
Hmm.
and so that's the thing is like with crypto saturation in casinos, they're just going to be like, oh, it's another coin, sure, integrate it. Oh wait, you come with all these benefits too, dude.
Yes. What are we doing here? We can't not use the technology. We don't have the option to not move forward with casino coin.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense with the way things are progressing globally, and especially in the world of casinos. I know I spent a lot of time, especially in my earlier or late teen years, early 20s, mid 20s in Vegas. It was always competition for comps, for discounts, for giving out free tickets to shows and boxing matches and UFC fights. I was a big poker player, and I spent some time out there and had a lot of perks for putting my play in, my time, and my money that was floating through any given establishment. So I was constantly getting comps, and there was major competition. And that is on all fronts. It's dining, it's the revamping of hotel rooms and remodeling, it's the Bellagio Conservatory, all of the free, glamorous aspects to any given property. They want to be cutting edge, not just in gaming, not just in hotels and dining, in all of it,
And
always,
services,
no
and that
matter what.
it works.
There's no way letting this type of project with these attributes and benefits fly on by. It's just
Well,
not
and that's
happening.
exactly it. And the branding is on point.
Totally.
Like I've said it time and time again. Like it's my personal opinion, not like just,
Sure.
I do expect, time down the road. I don't know a time frame. I say 5-10 years, but
Yeah.
knows that could be sooner, it could be longer. But it is my expectation that casino coin becomes a household name, that it's known, at least with the gaming community or gambling community, however you want to phrase it. It's going to be a well-known name just as much as Bitcoin or MGM or whatever. Like people are going to know what
Absolutely.
casino coin is. Like, it's my opinion again that, down the road, I'm going to walk into my local casino and I'm going to see their slot machines with a little sticker that says powered by casino coin.
I totally agree.
I look forward to the day where I can turn around and, whether it's converted into fiat, like, I deposit my CSC, I say, okay, I want to deposit 10,000 CSC. I get, $40 for it right now. So I play with my $40 worth and then I'm done playing. I've pulled out, say 150, I'm up. I pull that back to my app. It does a conversion back to CSC for me. And
Right.
say the price of CSC has fallen a little bit. I now get even more CSC. And then by the time I
Right.
walk over to the poker table, the value of CSC has gone up and my 150 is
Right.
75. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Right.
even that aspect of it is just like, would be awesome to just touch on. And that kind of comes to what DSGC mentions here is that, when operators start holding CSC and doing payouts or client bonuses, reward systems, like the demand is going to skyrocket for that. And that's what we're going to see. Like it'll come to a point where it almost like, kind of gets to that plateau effect where it becomes stable, but
Sure.
it'll still have its volatility and fluctuations, of course, especially when you have large casinos working with large denominations. Like, they have to pay somebody out, somebody just won that 25 $50,000 jackpot, or that $1 million like
Absolutely.
big machine sitting out front of their way. So like there is like even the whole supply and demand aspect that's going to drive things. And like, you know right now I wouldn't even say we're at ground level, like getting in ground level. We're watching the foundations being built before any of it all.
Absolutely.
And
And you know
so,
how fast when they frame out a home, it takes a week or 10 days for them to pour the foundation, right? To dig it, to prep it, to level it,
yes,
to pour the concrete, to set it, all the rest of it, right?
yep,
And then a day and a half later, you drive by the property or the home that's being built and it's
the
framed
skeleton.
out.
Yep,
So I think we're in, like you said, to embellish on what you're saying, once the framing, if you want to call it that, the finishing of the project comes into play with the release of the partnerships with casinos, I think those are the 2x4s for illustration purposes that start the framing process. We start to frame and structure the configuration and the level of growth.
yeah.
Are we going to build a 1-story, a 2-story, or a skyscraper? Probably a skyscraper.
Yeah. A
And,
skyscraper as a multiplexal, like,
and I can envision too, the fun thing about this project is I think it allows for your imagination to play because of its use case and the way that it can be used, not just handling transactions. I can even envision like a casino coin kiosk in the Bellagio or Mirage or MGM, where
yeah,
you walk up and you're a new customer for that given resort, or you don't have any experience with the latest technology, which is casino coin. You walk up, there's a program that a 3-minute program that explains to you what it is, how it operates, how to download the app. All of a sudden, 5 minutes later, you have a very basic understanding and general understanding of what casino coin is, how you can use it at gift shops, booking your next visit for your hotels, your dining, link it up to your room, and then walk 5 feet to the right and start using casino coin in the slot machine.
yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
that's exactly it. And it
you
all comes
know,
down to usability, which is a big thing. And actually, this addresses what Chris is mentioning, that the big issue is, will grandma be able to use this and be able to do so simply that they be able to download and play Bejeweled while using Casino Coin? And like, Zum is awesome, but he's not going to talk his mom through moving her crypto, through getting XRP, adding a trust line, and so forth. And you're exactly right, Chris. But what will happen, like, I'm speculating here down the road,
mm-hmm.
is that everything will become a lot more user friendly, especially once it hits the mainstream. When you walk into a casino, whether you walk into a casino and they're going to give you your player's card, right? No,
Yeah.
This is a tangent card, but you walk
Yeah.
into they'll give you a player's card if you don't already have a casino coin wallet or Zum setup or whatever the case. If you
Sure.
have an understanding, you'll get a player's card. That player's card, you might pay a registration fee or something like that, which is like the XRP reservation, the 5 for the trust line, a little bit for
Okay.
transaction,
Yeah.
a fee for the house, of course, because
Sure.
they need to make money. And everything's going to be set up on a card, on your player card. You don't have to
Preloaded.
worry about it. Everything's already set up there. Then you turn around and down the road, you're like, okay, I want to get a bit more involved. You download some, guess what? You link your card.
There you go.
There's your usability. There's the ease of access. You don't have to worry
Right.
about adding the trust line. You don't need to worry about any of that. It's all taken care of on your card. You
I
have your
totally
player's
agree.
card, which will then link to your Zum account or whatever the case. Like right now, as Gambling Savant and myself been saying, like we're like the foundations are being built. Like we're waiting for the concrete to set before we can start building out the framework and the skeleton of the house.
Right.
And the thing is that I see with Casino Coin is it's not just a scale up, it's a scale up and a scale out.
Right.
You
There
know
you
what I
go.
mean? Like we're
That's-
not just building a skyscraper. It's a matter of like this project is going to be a skyscraper complex.
I totally agree with that. It's a great analogy way to explain that. Totally. And that's why I like this live stream. It was so exciting for me to, participate with you. These are the exact types of conversations I was hoping to be able to put out there for individuals not everybody thinks identical, but I think these illustrations and even the building aspect, the foundation and the framework, this just helps solidify and put into context what we're working with and really what's coming in the very near future, it seems. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
there is a race to be had here. Now we want to approach it correctly and most effectively, but there's a race. There's a race against time, and we're in it. We're in it to win it. You can feel the pressure and the steam building. You can feel the emotions from the community. We're enthused, excited. It's genuine. It's not a Shiba Inu pump and dump. It's not a Doge pump and dump. It's not that excitement of a get rich quick scheme or I don't sense that at all. I never hear anybody speak in those terms. This is true, genuine happiness, excitement, joy. We're in this together, and you can feel that like-mindedness and that sense of the Casino Coin Nation, as we're referring to it now. It's profound.
Well, and that's exactly it. And like that's one thing, like as like I am a moderator in the Discord, and like I have seen a couple people come in and they're talking about pulling a GME or whatever the case, and I'm like, yo, stop right now. You talk that stuff, I will ban you right now. This is no pump.
Totally.
We're looking for sustainable organic growth. If
yes.
you have a problem with that, there's the door.
Yep. And that's refreshing.
Split you.
I understand exactly. And I think that's important that you do that and you take that stance, because while you could do that with any project, this is one project I can certainly say we don't need to do that. The price is going to take care of itself whether we want it to or not. That's just the way this is going to work because of the dynamics played out here. I mean, they're laid out. Like I said, it's second to none. It's beyond substantial. And I'm still a sponge in many, many ways to this project. I'm taking in as much knowledge as I can from individuals like yourself and the whole rest of the team and the community. I will never take the position of being an expert in this project ever, because it's going to keep advancing. While I do study and research and try to stay up with everything as much as possible, the sponge effect will always be my label. My title is the sponge, because I just can foresee what's happening here and the advancements and the endless potential for what we're working with.
I completely agree. I can't argue that at all. Like myself, I'm the same way. Like I want to learn. I need to learn more. And I don't consider myself an expert by any means. Like I've learned a lot over my last few years, and I feel like I've only scratched the tip of the iceberg. Like there's a lot that I still need to learn. Like I'm like by trade, like I'm a software developer.
Right.
So like, but I haven't even got into developing any X apps or anything like that. Like I've got some ideas on that have been sitting on the back burner that I'd love to get to, but you know, like I work a 9 to 5 and then with family and
right.
And then doing YouTube.
It's tough. There's not enough hours in a day sometimes, you know.
No, there's not.
It's simply these weeks and months are clicking off. It's like, yeah, time is moving at an alarming rate just in the everyday life. So in the world of crypto, you can times that by 10 or 100 or whatever you want to use, you know, for analogy. But space is moving a lot of, like, you know, JC's mentioned too, things going on behind the scenes. We talk about XRP, everything happening behind the scenes, mass adoption. There's events and conversations and implementation of any given project, pilot programs, et cetera, that are taking place that we have no idea. I mean, any given country could release tomorrow that everything's been implemented and their citizens are going to start using such and such cryptocurrency tomorrow, or the government entities or central banks or whatever, right? I mean, the timeline, once again, that is to be determined. In any project, we can have all these individuals on YouTube like ourselves, but everybody's trying to come up with a timeline, a price prediction, and that's fine and dandy. It creates for good content and something to, follow, and it's exciting. But I think that the timeline is something that I personally like to put off to the side and just stick to the fundamentals and what I think is important as an investor.
Exactly. Moon Lambo says it best. Fundamentals matter.
Right.
And
right.
That's what it all comes down to. And yeah, I get it, Chris.
I can't see the
I get it
chats.
all the time about the drywall.
What's he saying?
Oh, he mentioned like I was talking about being stretched thin, and he's like, I mean, you got all that drywall to do in your basement still. And like,
yeah.
Well,
speaking of framework, no, yeah.
But actually, it's a rental, so I'm actually
There you go.
My job.
We all have our own list of priorities, right?
Well, and that's exactly it. And that's one thing I'd love to see is down the road with like, I'd love to see price appreciate to a point where, I can look at getting a forever home. Like I've rented all my life, and you know what? I'm here for the long term. Like I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. So,
right. And that's the fun part. We all have different dreams and visions and priorities and things that we aspire to.
Yep.
Home ownership, certainly a big one. Transportation, automobiles, vacation, spending time with your family on a vacation destination, or that those are memories and aspects to life that you can't. Yeah, you have to buy them in a sense to be able to travel, but you can't buy the experience. In a way, right? It depends on the context, but
yeah, no, I get what you mean. I get what you're saying, and that's exactly it. And that's like the other thing that I would love is that I don't want to work a 9 to 5 anymore. I want to work.
Right.
I want to work on. You know what I mean?
Right.
I've got projects on the go here. Like it's just like a little simple display here with a MCU or a Node MCU, and that's just basically something I was working on to basically display price and so forth. But I've got other software projects that I've had sitting on the back burner for ages. I've got a game that I was in the middle of developing while I was going through school that the code's got more dust than my basement right now. So
right.
And that's the thing, is not just like being able to work on the stuff that I want to work on, even being able to outsource and be like, hey, develop this for me. I'll pay you this much. Like, here's a salary I'll pay you. You develop it and I will bring it to market, and then we will both make off,
Right.
As you said, it comes down to everybody. We all have our goals and aspirations, right?
Right.
And as Deftone mentioned, financial freedom is the goal. Like,
that can mean, that's the very subjective topic. Financial freedom can mean many different things, which is the beauty of it. For me, everybody talks about putting on their moon boots and headed to, to Mars and stuff. That's all fine and dandy. If that's the end result of this journey, then so be it. That's great. Everybody's different. Some people do want to look down at many millions of dollars in their checking account. That'll make them feel a certain way, or maybe that's just what their goal is and they want to check that box. For me, I'm all about lifestyle. I'm all about there's no substitute for time. Yeah. I don't want to trade my time for money. I want my money to work as a tool. I want to be able to spend my time how I choose, maybe take better care of my health, exercise more, spend more time with family, vacation. And life is short. We all have an expiration date.
Yep.
It's going to end at some point, and I want to take advantage of the beauty of life and all the experiences, because at the end of the day, the only thing you're left with, if you're fortunate enough, are the memories.
Yeah.
And I want to create memories with my family, with my own ventures and hobbies, and cryptocurrency certainly being one of the very top hobbies and ventures and journeys that I'm on right now, certainly, along with the YouTube channel.
Completely. Spade Hodler, he shared that video earlier, the end game video on Twitter.
I
And
didn't see it.
oh, you haven't seen it yet?
No,
Oh, buddy.
I
Here,
didn't see it. Was it today?
yeah, he shared it today. Hop up on Twitter and just pull it up. There's no audio, so you can just play it
Oh, I will. I
inside.
was uh
But
I was
yeah,
watching the kids this morning. My wife went and did a cycling class, and so I'm hanging with the kids and just getting stuff organized around the house. And I usually keep up with that kind of stuff, but
yeah,
let me see here.
yeah, definitely pull it
And,
up.
and who was it again?
So just watch it. But the one point he has me as oh, shoot, I can't remember his name right now. But yeah, he has me listed as like Codeward one, the guy that never sleeps.
Oh
And
yeah,
like, because like I spend like from the point that I crawl out of bed to the point that I go to bed, I'm basically in front of my computer, unless I need to run my girlfriend to work or pick her up or whatever the case. Like I basically live in front of my computer. And if I'm not in
mm-hmm.
front of my computer, I got my phone in my hand. Like,
Sure.
so I understand completely because like I got my little man, he's 4 years old.
Yep.
He'll be 5 in December. And just the thought of that, he's going to be 5 in December. Just
Right. Where'd that time go? You're gonna be
that's
looking
exactly
at, like I relate it to ages all the time. Um, my oldest will be 10 in September, and I'm like, that's a decade.
yep.
We don't all get that many decades. I mean, whether you're relating that to your children, yourself, your parents, your grandparents, etc., whoever we're fortunate enough to have on planet Earth still, we don't get many decades.
Well, no,
They're
and that's
not
exactly it.
guaranteed
Like,
even at that.
I'm going to be talking to my grandpa tonight. And like, that's the thing. Like, I think he's like, what, 83, 84 years old. Like, like kudos to him for like hanging out. Like,
Sure.
but like, that's exactly it. There's no guarantee on time. Like, I could literally go hop in my car to go run to Walmart and somebody T-bones me and that's it, man. Game over.
It's game over. That's right.
Time is
And
priceless, exactly as Deftone says.
yes, and so that's the world of crypto. The fact that I've always been prone to the mindset of being a poker player. The game of poker. I talk a lot about it. While my original intent for Gambling Savant was to be based primarily around poker. I wanted to start this channel about a year. I'd say about a year and a half prior to when I did.
Yeah.
And I, of course, life happened and I wasn't overly confident with exactly the content that I wanted to put out. And I kind of pushed it off and didn't have the real mental direction developed yet.
Yeah.
So I started it February of 2021 and the timing felt right. And getting back to poker was originally the main intent for the content. It quickly transpired into cryptocurrency and then almost effective immediately casino coin. Now casino coin is certainly the main focus of Gambling Savant. And I don't see Gambling Savant and casino coin looking back are like a match made in heaven for my own way of thinking, for opportunity, for technology, for the casinos and gaming institutions and hotel resort, all of it. It goes hand in hand with the way I think. And, but getting back to poker, relates so much to life.
Yeah.
That many people do understand that and some don't, but the game of poker has always intrigued me, not because of the money, not because of the glory with winning a huge tournament. I'm a cash game player. You'll never see my name anywhere. I've been playing competitively for 20 years.
Yep.
No one knows who I am. I'm a cash game player.
Yeah.
And that being said, I keep coming back. It's the one thing in life that I've never changed my focus on. I'm as dedicated today about the game as I was from day one. I love it. And I've learned so much about myself and so much about life through the game of poker.
Makes sense.
And, so just to throw that out there, I that's why I'm truly so intrigued by the mental stimulation, the risk versus reward, the risk management, reading people, relationships that I've developed with any given players at certain casino or home games even. It's just, it fits my personality like a glove, and I will continue to play for my remaining days. I can assure you of that,
Nice.
and hopefully using the means of
exactly.
the X app and casino coin.
That would be phenomenal. Like we've seen Richard or GK Green family there talking about having a CSC based app. But one sec here, we actually have Tyler Boone here that on the
call. Yeah.
So I'm gonna let him in. And
yeah.
while he's connecting, I just wanted to address Chris there because he did actually ask, does anybody know how to get my crypto? Like if I were to go to Walmart and, the inevitable happens, like, or is my stuff lost forever? And well, to answer that, Chris, actually, like my stuff I have all my keys safely stored and so forth. Does anybody know how to manage that, recover it? No, not that I'm aware of. I talked to my girlfriend about it and she just kind of glazes over, you know what I mean? So there's, I've tried talking to her. I tried explaining things. I'll probably end up having to write up a document, like a step through on how to do this and that. But, hopefully I don't have to worry about that anytime soon. Otherwise, my keys are around. They are in a safe place. So down the road, my stuff should get handed off to my son. And, when he's old enough, he'll be able to figure it out. He's a smart kid. Dude's 4 years old playing Little Big Planet. Like,
he's advanced, certainly then.
Yeah. So, yeah. Anyways,
well,
Tyler, welcome to the chat, bud.
Hey guys.
Tyler, what's up, man?
Nothing much, man. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah.
It's been a great stream so far. It's been awesome to listen to you guys talking about the project and all the different topics you've been through. I think, one of the most recent things that you guys had talked about, like Gambling Spot, you were saying, like talking about passive income, talking about financial independence and freedom. And that's really spoke to me, honestly, because I think the exact same way as you. A lot of people think that in order to be financially free, you need to have millions of dollars. But really all it means is that if your passive income exceeds your living expenses, then that's what that means. As long as you understand where you are in your financial situation, and you're being, reasonable with your spending, and you kind of adapt to your situation, like that's all it means. You don't have to rely on your employer. You don't have to rely on the government. You rely on yourself. And that's where it's at. And I think everybody should strive to reach that point. And I feel like that's kind of one of the key things that I personally want to like preach to people going forward into the future is like, that's what you really want. It's so important to not be indebted to others or rely on others as much. Like if you could be as independent as possible, then you have so many opportunities available to you. So it's so
Absolutely.
important. Yeah.
Well put, my friend. And so I want to elaborate on that a little bit. The closer you get to that point, when you inch towards that goal of being financially independent, whatever it means for you, for my own self, it takes all the material man-made items out of play. Yeah. When I can see the light at the end of the tunnel where passive income could support me and my family and allow for my children to have proper education, and of course check off the boxes as individuals and being able to support their own selves at some point, right? I want to make sure that's paramount in my upbringing for them. But it puts things into perspective so clearly in such a tight tunnel for me. That's where I'm headed. I don't need the $200 pair of Nikes. I don't need the Lambo or the brand new this or that. My vision is lifestyle and independence.
Yep. That's
all I've ever wanted. I've wanted to be financially independent, spiritually, religiously independent, exactly. And lifestyle independent in how I choose to use my precious time. For all of us are breathing fresh air. Our hearts are pumping. Yeah. And there's a lot going on with the human body. Mm-hmm. And
might as well take advantage of it.
Let's take advantage of our God-given abilities. And,
Yeah, because honestly,
time.
the rat race has been a fairly new paradigm, of like the 9 to 5 job. Like that started in like 1920 or so, like around that time period. I mean, it's not like it's been this way forever. And so we're just so ingrained into this way of thinking that we have to just be employed by somebody and, work our hours and collect our paycheck at the end of the week. And like, that's life.
Right.
And I feel like it's our responsibility to kind of teach people that, in this world that we're living in now, and in the world that we're going into in the future with digital assets and the way that the economy is going to just rapidly shift and change in ways with DeFi and everything that's coming out, like we can absolutely, especially now that it's new. I mean, if we understand what it is that we're looking at here, we can take advantage of it and free ourselves from this rat race. And,
Totally.
there's still going to be opportunities in the future. But, I feel like, of course, getting in now is certainly better than getting in 5 years from now.
Right.
But there's going to be those opportunities still. And we'll still be able to utilize this changing world and jump into it. But like, yeah, it's definitely, we're being presented with that chance to kind of like take back control of our lives and buy back our time. Essentially,
Right.
just use it however we wish. And like for me, like I know you had talked about lifestyle and what you're going to be focused on, what things you want to be able to pay for with your passive income. Like for me, like absolutely, yeah. But I would love to be able to invest in equipment in order to expand like the business and make sure that like we can offer different things and be able to produce things faster and better, and be able to scale. And that's exciting. It's like being able to have that opportunity,
Right.
to grow something that.
Speaking of that, before we get too far, I don't mean to cut you gents off, but I did mention that this stream was supposed to touch on the community-driven giveaway that's going to be happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's actually talk about that now, before like we get too far in, before we lose too many people. Because
I can start.
Sorry?
I can start.
Yeah, by all means, definitely.
Just by my own experience with seeing the news, if you want to call it that, broke yesterday. I caught wind that you were putting out this giveaway and the community-driven efforts. I jumped in immediately. That's just my personality. I want to be proactive. And I did make a donation yesterday, and I'm very grateful for the opportunity that I'm even able to do that. I'm very happy to do that. I hope somebody wins a nice prize. I hope the money's put to good use. And on top of that, like I said in my video yesterday, I want this to continue on for indefinitely. I want to create my own little giveaway that branches off of Codeward's initial efforts. I want to be part of whatever everybody else in the community puts together. And the world is round. We have to remember that the world is round. A little goes a long way when it comes to giving and generosity and letting go of greed and selfishness and everything else. I'm by no means perfect. I'm not a living saint by any means, but I want to go that direction and truly be happy and feel grateful and fortunate that I can give to somebody. In this case, it's apparel or tokens, etc., to Casino Coin members more than likely. And I feel great about it. I honor Codeward for putting his best foot forward to be the first to start this legacy, if you want to call it that, of the Casino Coin community giving back to all the individuals.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. So I just posted in chat the address that we're using. And if you want to go take a look, we've actually already raised, brought together a few of us who have pitched in. Actually, we're up over 300K CSE to put towards merch. So to kind of break things down, we have a group of us that are working together for this. Like shout out to Mass Adoption, Tyler Boone here in the chat. Matsko, he's a other moderator in Discord. You might see him on Twitter as well. We've got I Am Stacked, Crypto Crazy, Crypto Corvette, Crypto Catcher, Gambling Savant here. Like there's a whole group of us that are all kind of throwing everything together. So Tyler here is actually sponsoring one of his titanium rings that he's putting in. Myself, I've put in like a wallet, like here we go. Actually, I have one on me. Make sure it's not showing my ID, but yeah,
nice.
It's the Grunge wallet. So, you know,
Very
and I've
cool.
also pitched in some CSC. Some others have pitched in CSC. Mass Adoptions thrown in a hoodie. Huge shout out to Crypto Catcher. He's actually throwing in like, I think he said like 5 hats, some coasters, some tumbler cups. Like,
bravo.
There's a lot of stuff that's going to be taken care of. And so now I do want to say that CSC prizes, like prizes of CSC, probably are not going to be. We're trying to put for a straight merch giveaway because we want to bring awareness. We want to branch out, hopefully beyond just our community. Like if we can start tagging like, you know, poker players, slot players, like, you know, even Twitch streaming slot players or whatever the case, like people outside the community, the more reach we have, the further out we can kind of draw people's attention towards Casino Coin is the main goal of this and why we're trying to drive it as a basically a community effort. And that's also why I dropped the address in there is if you guys want to chip in, feel free, you don't have to. But basically anything and everything that goes into that address is going to be going towards more merch for this giveaway so that we can try to reach as many people as possible. Like I think we were talking about it in another chat there. And actually Mass Adoption, shout out to him. If you don't follow him, please do.
Yeah, Mass Adoption, awesome.
He had a genius idea where basically we're going to do a bunch of small things so we have as many winners as possible. And so the idea basically is that, you know, someone will win a hat, someone will win some coasters, we'll have some stickers, we'll have some tumblers, like, you know, everybody basically gets one thing. But now, here's the kicker, is somewhere along the lines, someone who receives one of those prizes is going to get a golden ticket, which will inevitably actually be a grand prize one. So
cool.
It'll be like a little package of things. We're still working out the details. There's no exact date set on when this is going to take place, but we are working on it. We're discussing it. Like I've got a Google Doc and everything's like, we're working on putting it together so that it's like this, like an epic giveaway that we try to basically reach out well beyond the community so that we're trying to go to the degree of, like, trying to reach as many people as possible.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And how cool is that, by the way? I mean, just that this is a community driven effort that, you know, we're just kind of putting together a package of different things that can help the project grow. It's not even the team behind the project doing this. It's like just the community, which is so cool. And I think you guys have touched on this in the live stream before. It's just like, you know, us as individuals, you know, we have this vested interest now as investors. Like we want this project to succeed. Obviously we believe in it. There's a lot of things going for it. And, you know, you know, obviously there's thousands of cryptocurrencies out there. So of course, you know, there's reason for people to be skeptical of hearing about new things. And so it's up to us to kind of say, like, look, let's cut through the noise here. This is why it's going to work for this, and this reason. We believe in it. Here we are. And like, we're doing this giveaway. Like you could win a free hat if you just put your name in here and you do this and you follow this page, and then you can like start, it's like, it'll show up on your feed. You'll start seeing the progress and you'll be like, oh, wow. Okay. They just did a partnership with this. I remember someone told me about that a couple weeks ago. And shit, yeah, they just partnered with this casino, or they just did this, or they have this new thing. And wow, like maybe I should go get some now, or whatever, you know, and that could have started because of something like this. So it's just really cool to see us, you know, in the community, just taking ownership of this and just kind of like doing our part, you know? And so,
touché.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, you also find out a lot about who you are as an individual when opportunity strikes like this. You're either the individual who scurries into a dark corner, or you put yourself out there and you give what you can.
Yeah.
It could be $5, $50. The dollar amount's irrelevant.
Right.
The type of apparel or merchandise is irrelevant. It's the fact that you are able and willing to put yourself out there and to give and to be acclimated with the community and intertwined with all these great individuals. And so it's a unique thing. It's organic. I think Codeward has touched on that. It's a organic type of growth that we're seeing with the community and Casino Coin Nation. And there is a lot of steam behind this project, both on the business side and also the cheerleading side, if you want to call it that, and I'm certainly a cheerleader of all of the people involved, just like the two of you, and while we're on topic and having Tyler on here, I want to make everybody aware, I purchased a Casino Coin token today, the round, it's not the keychain or like a pendant, it's the round Casino Coin token that I'm going to use as a card protector while playing live poker. And I'm so excited to receive it. And your product looks incredible, man. So thanks for putting yourself out there with the community. And I'm looking forward to getting some of your merchandise and your product.
Absolutely. Well, and I certainly appreciate your business. And it's been really cool just in the last couple of weeks, because like I started a Twitter just so that I could research crypto. Like that was it. That was the original reason why I started it. And then I just kind of and I had known about Casino Coin and I followed them and all that. And I was really excited about the project and I wanted to make a keychain just for me. And then I posted about it. And then I don't know how many people messaged me. They were can I buy one from you? And that's just how it started. And I was like, well, my dad's business, I asked him, I was like, can I just start selling crypto stuff? Because I know about crypto. Yeah. And maybe we can kind of reach out to that community. And I think that, he's like, sure, why not? Whatever. It's we need to pull in some money. So sure, whatever.
Well, and it's so nice of you to come on here, and me being being invited to the show as well. I mean, you didn't come on here and start boasting about your company and trying to sell people. I knew that immediately talking with you. You're genuine, very nice, well-spoken individual, and you're a hard worker, entrepreneur, all the rest of it. So I can give you lots of great titles and attributes for the way I view you. But that being said, you do deserve a nice plug for your efforts and your product. I do think that that's necessary. boonrings.com. And excellent, man. Your train of thought and your vision on life and Casino Coin, more specifically, is right on the money. And this is exactly the relationships and the direction I want to go in life too, is building these wholesome relationships. Yeah, individuals absolutely. Like Codeward. And I interact with Mass Adoption on Twitter, and he's always been very supportive of my channel. Yeah. And
they're all great people. It's so cool.
And it's very encouraging to be able to say that with ultimate confidence. And it's not just some big fluff session where we're going to, boast about the Casino Coin Nation and for the wrong reasons or wrong, bad intentions
and stuff like that.
It comes from the heart. Everybody I've met literally has been someone that I feel like I've known for a long time. And
honestly, same. Cause I've been watching crypto for a long time. And I think I mentioned this last time I was on this channel, last week, but I was just sick of sitting on the sidelines watching. I wanted to participate in, because there are so many there's people in my life that I'm sure are just really fed up with me talking about crypto all the time, but there's right exactly.
I mentioned earlier, girlfriend, the word crypto comes out of my mouth, she just rolls her eyes and no, I don't want to hear it. I don't
exactly
want to hear it.
So
a common theme.
It's just really exciting to kind of stumble into this community of people who like it just as much as we do. And to be able to talk about this kind of stuff and like vibe with each other, and then talk about constructive ways to kind of help the cause. Like, it's just really, it's like, I wish I did this years ago. But here we are. It's like, you can't go back and change the past, but like, yeah,
it becomes a calling in a sense.
Yeah.
And I think the community driven aspect is what really takes it to the next level, to be proactive in your efforts and your willingness to give. Once again, you want to call it karma, you want to call it, this, that, the other. The world is round. Things that when you give, things usually do come back in some form. That's been my experience anyways. And it feels good. It should anyways. Right. And, I think Codeward, I do want to give a major shout out to Codeward, not only for starting his integration into the world of YouTube with the live streams and getting people like myself live on here, as opposed to just putting out videos. Mm-hmm. It's a totally different context. It gets people into their real sense of being, as opposed to just recording a video. We're live here with all of the members in the chat. We've got Tyler on here who decided to join and participate. And Codeward did not have to go out of his way to put together this initial massive giveaway. It was by default because of his personality and his willingness to give and give back. So I think, that's very important, and you deserve a major shout out, Codeward.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree.
Thanks, awesome. I appreciate it. Like, I'm not here for the kudos or whatnot. Like, in generally, I'm a helpful person. Like, even in real life, like, if I can help somebody, I'm more than happily will. And that's like why I went through doing the swap walkthrough video. Why, like, even like during the swap, I was taking Zoom calls and helping people, like literally walking them through the swap over Zoom here. Like, I like helping people. And it also comes back to when I first joined the casino coin community. This is why I love the casino coin community, because when I joined, I was just like a lot of people where, like, I ended up getting one of those scam bot giveaways. And I was like, yo, guys, is this legit? Like, I just want some Bitcoin. And they're like, dude, it's a scam. And then, like, kind of from there, I got a bit more engaged, talking with like JD Piper and whatnot. Crusty man, but
yeah, Piper.
But but like, that's the thing, is like, everybody was so helpful. Like, even like Swiss, Daniel, like everybody. It wasn't just like anybody in particular. Like, the whole community just like stepped up and was like, yo, dude, what do you need? You need to learn something? Like, here, let's point you toward the resources if we don't know it, like, and the level of, like, the community is on a whole new level. Like, as I've said before, like, I see in other communities, people are like, oh, do your own research. And it's like, okay, but how? Where do I even begin?
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing. And then, like, you come to the casino coin community and you're like skittish, like, how do I do this? Please don't bite my head off. And people are like, oh yeah, just here, help.
Right.
Let me help.
And I do want to say, if I can intervene a little bit,
yeah,
there's many examples, but I'm going to use Daniel Keller as the main example of where this root or this seed starts. It's all about sacrifice. Now, from my understanding, Daniel moved from Germany. He moved his family to the Isle of Man. That's a major sacrifice. That's a major display of commitment and dedication to the project, regardless of the circumstances. It's substantial. And I think that's where I can always reflect back to that, because I've moved not quite across country, but about 900 to 1,000 miles away from home. And I know that type of event and the challenges that comes with it. That's substantial. And that's the building block for not only the team, not only the project, but also the community, and where our efforts can lie to give back into sacrifice. I think that's a big key word, to sacrifice, to move forward and to propel us as individuals and propel us as the Casino Coin Nation, So big shout out to Daniel. That I know it's not easy, and his move may be much more substantial than the one that I encountered. So I think your efforts, Codeward, might have even stemmed off that subconsciously, possibly. I don't know. It just,
definitely. I mean, I think it's contagious. Like when people like Codeward are out there just giving their time and saying, hey, like, let me just hop on a Zoom call. Let me walk you through how to set up your wallet or whatever. That really goes a long way to those individuals that were receiving that, because they're going to remember that for a long time, because like, when else would they have an experience like that in any other crypto community? I mean, genuinely, like, it's not common. And so, in the future, they're going to be inspired probably to spread that karma somewhere else and help someone else do it. Or like, if someone else has questions, it's like, oh, I remember, like, here's how you do it, whatever. And I just feel, and the same thing with this giveaway. It's like, there was one person that started it, and then someone else wanted to join in, someone else wanted it. And so it's like, now everyone's dogpiling in there.
Sure.
And it's just like, that's just kind of what to expect from the Casino Coin Nation.
Right.
It's just that. So I hope that continues on as we get bigger and bigger, and hopefully just grows proportionally to the size of the community. And we never forget that this is kind of where we started. Like, we need to just continue that and be that beacon on the hill to other communities out there, and show kind of like the example of like how you should be as a community.
I agree, because that's it. It's like, what do they say? Smiles are infective or infectious.
Yeah, infectious.
And it's not just a smile. It's that helping nature, that pay it forward, the that, well, as Game One Savant says, like the willingness to give. Like, it's not about me even. Like, I'm just some random sitting in his basement.
Yeah.
Likewise.
I mean, like, but when the whole community comes together and is able to help out, pitch in, help other people, whether it be the setting up of a wallet or helping with the swap, or like, because it wasn't just me. Like I seen a lot of help in Discord coming from a lot of community members, like Sunny C, Mansco, Gopher Point 60, I believe is, and like Livium, like Lobster, the list is like, I could keep going here for half an hour listing out names of people that helped and are like still help. Like, you jump in there and it's like, guys are doing awesome. Like, and that's the thing, is like, that helpful nature, much like a smile, is quite infectious. And, I would love to see that not just stay in the CSC community. I would love to see that branch out into other communities like the XRP, Ethereum, Flare, wherever. Like, don't let the buck stop. Like, I would love to see an overcoming of the tribalism between crypto, of my crypto is better than your crypto, or whatever the case. And like, having everybody working together, helping each other, it's so much more fulfilling helping each other and building each other up than tearing each other down. Like, we see the constant trolling on Twitter from the trolls and fudsters, like,
Mm-hmm. It's getting pathetic. Honestly, I don't know what other word to use. It's to a level now that's just like, it's laughable. Its impact is completely, or lack thereof. There is no impact on it anymore. The fact that it exists, though, is the sad part, that there's individuals sitting behind the computer on the keyboard, being the finger warrior and typing away all this different nonsense. And I don't see that. Like I said, there's many things I don't see from, in a good way, from the Casino Coin Nation. The aspect of pumping and trying to artificially inflate the price or create this nonsensical aspect to the price or the project. I don't see any FUD. I don't see any hate or the troll aspect. I mean, once again, it comes back to the genuine trait of the majority of us, if not all of us, that is really coming to light. And what more could you ask for? We're spread out all over the globe, nationally, internationally, every country spread out throughout the entire world. And we're all communicating and collaborating all with the same mindset and goal and intention. So it's like, wow, talk about changing the world. Maybe we're on to something here, but it just feels right. And I think that's a general statement that most people could agree with. It feels natural, organic. It feels like a calling in many ways. Even for myself, I'm not in this to benefit in any given way. I think we will all benefit in the long run just naturally, but when I put out the content, when I put a link to the Eminence link for clothing, for apparel, for Casino Coin, when I expose the brand to my followers on YouTube, I'm getting nothing in return virtually. Now, Quad Jacks was very nice to me, and I'm very fortunate to have received this Casino Coin hat and a t-shirt at no charge out of the generosity of Quad Jacks. He was very gracious and sending me the apparel, but there's no incentive for me, essentially. If you really want to get down to the nitty gritty, I just have a strong passion for the people. I have a strong passion for the technology in the project. And it's more than just a hobby. It's more than just an investment. I don't know what term to even come up with right now or use, but there's something there, the intangible, that I keep coming back for more. There's an energy, or there's something, and maybe it's just the common denominator of good, wholesome people that I'm surrounded by.
For sure. Yeah. And I think there's definitely excitement in the air. I think a lot of people in this community, like, we know what this is. We know, what the potential of this project is. And we know kind of where it could go, assuming that all the right moves between now and then are made. We also know that it's not, like a 100% chance that it will be like, it will reach that point, because we are still very early and there's a lot of unknowns. But at the same time, it's like they've done a lot of legwork as a team. They've really made a lot of progress, and I feel like these apps that are being developed for the consumer and then also the back end for the casinos is just absolutely massive. This infrastructure is so huge. And then the functionality of the coin itself, it's like when people were paying for their keychains in CSC, it's like 3 seconds, boom, it's in. And it's like incredible real utility. I mean, that's not, because like Digital Perspectives, he had his video this morning and he talked about how he had a Bitcoin transaction that he did where he was sending 1.5 Bitcoin, a lot of money, like 2 months ago. And it cost him $4,200 in fees and took 2 hours to send.
You're kidding.
No. And so it's like, you could send that same amount of money in XRP or CSC, and it would take 3 seconds and cost less than a penny. And it's like,
regardless of the dollar amount too.
Regardless of the dollar amount, you cannot deny the utility of that. You just can't. And like, people can make all these talking points about how, well, you could use a credit card and then Bitcoin pay it like whatever in the background and you could still have instant. It's like bullshit. Why would you need to do that? This thing works today.
Just swap over to something that is designed to take care of that, to mitigate the fees, to mitigate the length of the processing, near instant settlement. And that's exactly what it's geared for. That's its prime and purpose.
Yeah.
Use it.
Yeah. Why not?
And
right.
That's exactly it. Like,
that's the whole concept. That's the whole idea behind all of it is exactly that. You have the gas fees with Ethereum. You have, the green aspect with Bitcoin and the mining, and you have all these issues with these other assets that XRP, and more specifically for today, Casino Coin.
Yeah.
Well, they check all the boxes.
They check every box and then some.
What are you looking for? Is there a characteristic or an attribute that Casino Coin doesn't carry, or that it can't carry, that operators and users are looking for? At the moment, I truly couldn't come up with one. And I'm not saying that there isn't one that we can expose and find a remedy for. That's possible. But there has been so much front loading of the project, even with the timeline of how Casino Coin is deciding to release information. It's
Right.
all concrete. It's all matter of fact. There's no fluff.
No.
There's no gray area. Here it is. And here's how it's going to work. And the show is on the road. And
Yeah, exactly. And like, I think the team and the strategy that they're using in order to market this coin, and how they're like releasing the blog strategically, and they're, you know, giving little snippets of information. Like, I feel like the partnerships are already there, but
sure.
they're just kind of like waiting for the moment. I don't know that for sure. I mean, I really hope that's the case, because in my opinion, like, the casino partnership announcement is going to be like the only thing that really matters. Like, that's the thing that I'm holding out for. Like, I really want to see that, because that's going to be like the point at which, okay, officially this is real, officially. Because, you know, up until this point, yeah, like, you can use it, it's functional, it checks all the boxes, like we said, but until it's being used for its purpose, like, you know, it's speculation, just like
Tyler, would you agree? I said earlier, the release of that information is like the grand opening.
Yeah.
You could refer to it as like the grand opening of Casino Coin, the big firework display and cutting the ribbon with the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That, to me, that's where we're headed to, is the grand opening. And
that is an excellent analogy. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but that is a perfect analogy, because once the X app launches, like, we've already been told in Discord and via the blogs that Quad Jacks and JC has put out and whatnot. Like, the thing is, like, we've already been told there's 2 casinos out the gate ready to go. You know, we already have a top 15 exchange ready to go, and there was talks of another listing. So there's 2 casinos, 2 listings, plus the X app to go live. Once that all wraps, like, that's literally it. That's a dude at the starting line going, bang, go.
There you go. And can I chime in real quick to you know, elaborate on that? So JC in one of his blogs had mentioned up to 10. Do you recall seeing up to 10 casinos?
Yeah.
So not to get hyper focused on that, but it wasn't up to 9 or 12. It was a very distinct number of 10. And it wasn't like he said there's 2 in the works and many more to come. He said the number 10. So I'm not going to hold him to it in absolute terms, but that wasn't just some arbitrary number. That's not how Casino Coin operates. They told us 2 casinos because there's 2 casinos, I would think, at the moment. They didn't say 3, they said 2. So I think we can expect the announcement of the initial 2 casinos, and up to 10 are in the works, apparently. So I take that at face value. Now, I understand business is business and things can change, and there's all the rest of the variables, but I think we're looking up to, at the moment, 10 or more casinos that are in the works. That is substantial. And I also want to make note and reflect on the fact that I think there's a lot more challenges and hurdles in revamping a project versus starting fresh with your own creation of the Casino Coin token.
Right.
We have to give the team a major pat on the back for sacrificing their own time and effort and money and creating or recreating these relationships and revamping this project. There's a lot. It's very intricate. I can only imagine the struggles at times and the challenges that to have the mental fortitude to move forward the way they have is something I've yet to witness in my working career. It's substantial.
Yeah, and it's something that speaks for itself, because you got to think about it from like the business standpoint of things. Is like, you're not just incorporating or integrating CSC and the XAC lobby. There's a whole logistics aspect. There's the business aspect. There's the legal ramifications.
Totally.
The regulatory loopholes that are got to be jumped through. Like Daniel's mentioned in Discord before, like he's got to check with legal about this or that or whatnot. And it's like like the amount that goes into it. And like I see him, like there was one guy on Twitter there that was having a problem setting up his zone. Like, you know, the fact that he just turned around and like was like, oh well, here, take the extra fee, set up your account, and just pay me back some CSE. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like
Yeah.
there's a lot going on that like he takes on from a business standpoint, but yet still is down on the ground level with us, helping out where he can. Like that in itself speaks volumes.
And he has the experience of taking companies to full regulation, is from what I took from his bio, if you want to call it that. He knows all about the legalities and how to make something become regulated in the world of gaming and gambling, which is, the magnitude of that is astronomical. I mean, he's lived it. He's experienced all of the ups and downs and trials and tribulations of that sector. And that is something I dealt with since I was 18 years old, playing online poker with regulated gaming. It's been an issue for decades now, going on a couple decades.
Oh, actually, that brings me up a question I want to ask. So you've been playing like online poker and stuff, and like I know like Casino Coin, like one of the aims is to reduce the friction and the bottlenecks of like, you know, depositing and withdrawing. In your experience with those online games, how long are you usually looking at waiting for withdrawals? Like say you take a winning and you go to withdraw your money, how long till it hits your bank?
It's a topic I will certainly elaborate on. It's been quite the journey with the transferring of funds forever since I started playing. Sometimes it would take 2-3 weeks. Currently, I can process a withdrawal and have the money in my account within about 4 to 7 days.
4 to 7 days.
Usually the latter. Usually a week.
3 seconds is a little bit better than 4 to 7 days.
Absolutely. And there's been times where, this is years ago now, prior to, I guess it was 2008 with Black Friday, as they referred to it as in the United States, with the shutting down of Full Tilt Poker and Poker Stars and all the rest of it. I had money tied up in all those sites that I did receive months and months later. That was a complete headache and really disastrous for the United States and online poker. A lot of people played professionally. A lot of people played recreationally, had a lot of money tied up in there. That was a cluster beyond clusters. And the funny thing about that, just to delve off a little bit here, it's not illegal. The act of playing poker is not illegal. It was the transferring of money. So now we're getting back to transferring money and the importance of it and the speed of it or lack thereof prior to the new technology that we're looking at with Casino Coin and the XRP ledger. I've been in so many situations over the last 18, 19 years that I couldn't even begin to explain to you the issues that I've seen and witnessed personally firsthand with online gambling and specifically poker. The other thing you have to remember, large withdrawals back in the day, especially, you're looking at fees of $70, $90, $120. Sometimes it was percentage of what you're withdrawing. So you could have a nice little day at the tables. You know, you make $93 in 2 hours and you go to cash out several hundred and they charge you $72. Well, you just played and were successful at the tables and you're giving all your profit away for astronomical fees percentage wise. I mean, I've lived all of it. I was the last generation of like the old school gamblers, if you want to call it that. That's my take on it. Just, yes, I was integrated into the online world and the poker boom with Chris Moneymaker in 2003, all the rest of it. But it was still old school. It was old school in the casinos. It was old school in many ways of being a poker player and a gambler, even in the early 2000s, in my opinion, things hadn't quite developed to where they're at present day at all. And the software, the moving of money, the safety aspect, there was no wallet. We have the Zum wallet now where we can.
That's huge.
Have control over our money. I mean, what else do you want when you're a gambler or a poker player? Is control over your own funds with no third party involved. I mean, we could go down the whole list again and bring all these topics back up, but the benefits of Casino Coin and the X app and all the rest of it is beyond belief for a gambler or poker player of almost 20 years.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't mean to interrupt here. Just one quick moment. We actually have a blockchain buyer looking to jump into the chat here.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
sweet.
definitely.
The more the
So
merrier.
I'm just going to admit him here. You guys keep going, and yeah, as soon as he's connected, talk away there, buddy.
Okay.
I actually did have a quick point. Think about how many or how much money these online casinos in the past have been leaving on the table by charging these kind of fees. Not because they wanted to, but because they had to, because of the technological barrier there that they just had to get around. But it's like so many gamblers out there would just get this bad taste in their mouth, be like, I'm not going to waste all my profits. It's like, if I do happen to win money here, then I'm like going to be paying.
You're going to get punished.
Fees. So then they're going to get discouraged, and then they're not going to come back. And
it's a major repellent.
Yeah. So imagine it's like you have Casino Coin integrated into the online gambling world, and then you don't have to deal with these issues. You can get paid instantly and there's no fees. Think about how much money is going to flow in. I mean, like never. And you have all these people like us invested early in Casino Coin that, like for me, for example, I'm not even a gambler. I just am an investor. I see the potential here. I want to get into gambling at some point. I've done it before, lost a lot of money. And then it was like, okay, maybe I should do this. But like, if
while
I
paying fees
money,
on top of it, I'm kidding. But
like, if I had the money and I could just put, it's like, okay, I'm going to take 10% of this and just see what happens. Then that's money that they would have not. These casinos would have never seen, because there's no way I would have done that just normally. So like, they're going to see business they would have never seen before because of Casino Coin. And I feel like that point really hasn't come across yet. I mean, I think it's good food for thought.
I agree 100%. And it goes back to something we touched on earlier as the selling aspect, the sales of implementing the technology to the operator. Wouldn't you, in a New York second, jump all over the opportunity to integrate Casino Coin into your establishment?
Oh my God, dude!
Your gaming institution. I mean, it's a no-brainer beyond compare. And
I agree with that. And I also think, sorry, I just think that like when the casinos, like when the first handful of them, say like 3, 4, 5 casinos, especially if they're big ones in Las Vegas, once they start using it, and then they can show the world that, like, look at all this money we're saving and look at all this extra revenue that's coming in because of it, because we have access to all these players. Like, it is going to be, I mean, you talk about FOMO. When you have casinos that are like, shit, like I don't want to miss out on this opportunity, then they buy millions and millions of coins, and then they sit on it and they start accepting it. That's just, I mean, the utility, the ramp up effect, the multiplier effect is insane. And the fact
happens,
that we're in,
Go ahead. How about when you deliver confidence to the consumer?
Right.
You deliver confidence to the consumer with the X app, with Casino Coin. That drives, especially in the world of gambling and hotel resorts and casinos, it drives business and revenue through the stratosphere. And one thing I want to touch on, just because I have it written down in Codeward, you've touched on it a couple of times. You said the exact phrase that my dad and I talked about. He mentioned yesterday. You said, when you talk about crypto to your girlfriend, she glazes over. My dad said the identical thing yesterday, and we just talked about this in very simple terms. But what if crypto was the older technology, and now we're moving to the fiat dollar, right? Let's just, for example, if it was a flip-flop, Well, you'd have to introduce the paper dollar, and you'd have to understand that it's on a gold standard and it's backed by this. And it's so that would be confusing too. And to bring it present day to our monetary system of talking about fiat, which is the current means of transacting, right? You have terms that people have no idea about. Our monetary system is very complex, and most people in general don't know what that even is all about. So I think the way that we communicate cryptocurrency to people is of the utmost of importance, to not start them out thinking that this is going to be very complex. When you talk about terms in the current monetary system, like dividends, index funds, options, mutual funds, ETFs, blue chip investments, which goes along with the Dow Jones Industrial Average. You've got NASDAQ, the S&P 500, the New York Stock Exchange. People are lost. They're lost.
That's exactly it. There's people don't understand the full grasp of things and how everything is so intricately connected and reliant on each other.
Right. And they're lost. So to say that crypto, and yes, I completely understand. Most people are completely lost when you bring up crypto because of the conditioning of.
Sorry, one quick moment here. I just got to step to take care of something. Keep talking away though.
Yep.
Sure. So, there's that immediate reaction to discussing cryptocurrency that people get immediately put on the defense and intimidated by it. Yeah. When in reality, I think it's really how we communicate the technology and what its use cases and what problems it solves on a very basic level, because as complicated as it is, the problems that any given project solves is very matter of fact and very transparent.
Yeah.
We can make it complicated by our choice of words or descriptive adjectives on talking about cryptocurrency, but it's not overly complicated for what it's trying to accomplish.
Exactly. I think you're completely correct on that. And there's just, in today's world, there's so much information overload with everything. I mean, the news cycles and everything going on and whatever, it's like people's focus is split in a million directions. And so to try to grasp concepts like cryptocurrency and then understand the true impact that it's going to have on your life is, something that most people don't even want to entertain. They don't have the RAM in their brain in order to
right.
Make those neural connections. But
sure.
but you're absolutely right. And I think too, something else that turns people off to cryptocurrency right now is not even necessarily that it's complicated. I mean, for sure there's that component, but I think there's also the element of the fact that it is just pure speculation right now. And
very good
people
point.
are just losing their ass left and right with crypto. And you see the people who are making millions, and those are the ones that are talked about on the news.
Sure.
But for every one of those people, there's got to be, dozens that are just they made bad decisions because they didn't do the proper risk analysis and they lost their shirt. They lost everything.
Right.
And so a lot of people, and then what are those people going to do? They're going to tell all their friends, don't touch cryptocurrency. You're going to get screwed. The government's going to come after it. There's going to be regulations,
taxes,
blah, 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 blah.
Right.
But after all of this, because again, right now, speculation drives the market. You have Bitcoin, you have Ethereum, you have all these things. And they have their purpose, but to an extent, it's just people that are buying into it with the intention of selling it to someone else that's dumber than them so that they can buy it and lose their money. That's essentially how a lot of people are thinking about cryptocurrency. And I think it's up to us to say, that's not the end all be all. It's not just about making money. It's about solving problems. That's really where the value is.
And so that's where the price comes.
Yes. And if we can communicate that idea to people, I think that's when the light switch will turn on and people will understand that, okay, there are problems in the financial system. There's a lot of friction out there. It's trillions of dollars are locked up in nostro vostro accounts. There's all kinds of issues that we could solve with cryptocurrency. But right now that's not reflected in price. If it was, then XRP would be worth $1,000.
Another key point is the fact that we are aiming after our target customer on the operator side is regulated gaming establishments.
Yeah.
Casino Coin is the technology, is the driver behind use case and utility and all the benefits that come with it. But our target customer is regulated.
Yep.
We don't have to worry about regulation.
Right.
They're regulated. We're just implementing streamlined technology, state-of-the-art technology. And we don't have to reinvent anything or go through loopholes, even to the extent of XRP, for example. I mean, that's a completely different animal, but you understand what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Everything's teed up, ready for us to plug and play. And the fact that I did use that phrase, the plug and play aspect, as much as these gaming institutions want to be state of the art with technology and implement a product like Casino Coin, sometimes they just look at their profit margins. They look at their year-to-date balance spreadsheet, profit loss, right? And we're happy, we don't need to do this. We don't need to do that. Less is more. You could use all these different examples of if it's not broke, don't fix it type mindset. That's not the case with Casino Coin. Everything is so constructed and put together on the front end that it's the plug and play aspect where overnight, essentially, MGM, the Mirage, Win, they're using and implementing Casino Coin effective immediately and reaping the benefits immediately. Yeah. It's not a 3-month or quarterly progression. They are reaping the benefits. So is the user, so is their customer, which raises confidence in the consumer effective immediately upon launch.
Well, and that's exactly it. Like you were talking about the regulated space there. And that's one thing that I wanted to touch on as well, is because like you think about it, is like Casino Coin's going after the regulated space. And like you see a lot of these casinos that are regulated using like a Caraco license, right? Which I'm not too familiar with it myself, but from my limited understanding is that a Caraco license is basically like your entry level, like you're like a tier 2 or tier 3 casino where you're not like a white chip or what you'd call it.
Sure.
So by them like integrating with Casino Coin, that would allow them to essentially prove their worth in, for lack of better wording, to do like provably fair, showing that they're not involved in money laundering or so forth, that they are legitimate, and that could step them up from being that tier 3 up to a tier 2 and help them move and become that.
Yes.
Into
now we have another customer.
Exactly. So it could be like a stepping stone further down the road for those that are like entering into the space but have no verifiable.
I understand your train of thought 100%. Yes, absolutely. That's a major, and that's where it has legs. It has roots where you can tap into that because of the way that this has been constructed and implemented. Yeah. You can't say that with all projects, even of similar type approaches. It just doesn't exist. And then you have the experience of Daniel. Speaking of regulation, he's going to be the driving force behind that type of movement, I would imagine, if it were to come to that.
Yeah.
Or there's that division, if you want to call it. So, I mean, it's like comparable to none. I've invested in, I guess at this point, in and out of a couple dozen projects, kind of trying to pick my flavor. And I'm very hot and heavy on XRP and Casino Coin and a couple others, but I invest a little bit into certain projects along the way because it retains my focus. If I have some skin in the game, it allows me to pay more attention and to really understand and research that particular project versus just having nothing invested. That's just my own personal way of doing things. And I've pulled out of 90% of them to only come back to the projects with ultimate use case and utility, just like Casino Coin. Yeah. And I have not been involved with a project as substantial as this, regardless of price, regardless of any of the rest of those variables as of yet. And I don't expect Casino Coin to take second place anytime soon on that list.
No, I agree. Like when I first joined crypto, like I was huge into XRP. Like up until like 2 or 3 weeks ago there, like I had a bag of XRP that I was like, no, I'm not touching this until it hits whatever. Like it was my moon bag.
Right.
I've at this point I've dumped it into CSC.
Yeah, we're all going to have our own personal choices. You can't argue that, because look at now, when you compare the two, like I've said, my comparison of XRP and Casino Coin is never to diminish one or the other. They're cousins of each other, more or less, or sister or brother, or whatever you want to call it. They act alike in so many ways, and their list of benefits and what they accomplish and what the intention is behind the transacting of money and all the rest of it being on the XRP ledger are similar in many ways. Yeah. If you want to get to the core fundamentals of each project, I guess. But
no, I get it completely, but they each tackle their own use case and vertical. They're
right.
As closely knit as they are completely separate monsters.
And what that tells me, though, your decision solidifies what I'm trying to say, that you moved your money out of XRP to Casino Coin. That's very powerful. That move tells me everything that I need to know, given your line of thought, your train of thought. Why did you do it? You did it because, I'm assuming, now you can speak for yourself, of course, but you did it because of the potential of the use case, of the utility, the community. There's lots of variables, but something made you pull the trigger on that decision.
Yeah, like to speak for myself, that's exactly it. There were a lot of aspects that led me to that decision. There was like, it might end up biting me, but like there was admittedly the SEC FUD. Like I know in the end, it's no longer, when it comes to digital assets, it's not going to be a Howey test. It's going to be a Ripple test. I understand that basically Ripple and XRP, they're setting the precedent for regulation of digital assets. I get that. In the immediate short term, like even now, what I've taken from the XRP and put into CSC, I have a significant ROI on that. And just that alone is kind of speaks for itself. Like I've increased, I think it's like 25-30%. Like if I were to turn around and take that bag, move it back to XRP, I'm up 25-30%, which is what?
Right.
3 times what I would get in, if not 3 to 4 times what I get in a traditional market, like investment.
Absolutely.
Bonds. So like it potentially could be a short-term play, depending on how things go. If like CSC starts moving before XRP, or even if they work in tandem, like I'm not out, because like what I'm starting to see, like to a degree, like I see CSC being almost coupled with XRP. When XRP moves, CSC moves, right? And that's what I'm starting to see a little bit more of, is that kind of moving in tandem. Like, yeah, sure, there's like 5-10% swings between them, which are nice for the swing traders, but like in the grand scheme of things, like I was looking at it from an ROI perspective. Even in a short-term game, like I do intend to pick my XRP bag back up. I'm not out of XRP, like
right. No, so, yeah, I get it, and I'm glad to hear your explanation, because it's a personal decision, and I respect, everybody on Twitter, social media talks about diamond hands, and they're going to their grave with their last token of XRP and all this. That's fine. I understand the idea behind that, the impact that can bring upon the community and stuff, but this is a very fluid space. Nothing's so concrete and set in stone. It's very fluid. Moving money is working money. If you throw $10,000 under your mattress, while in short term, it might be a great savings vehicle, if you want to call it that, or $500 you have to save up for a new set of tires. Stashing some money in a drawer, in theory, is good. You can 3 weeks later, you can go buy your set of tires, right? You're putting $20 and $30 a time in a drawer. But moving money, I mean that in the sense that it's going up and down.
Yeah.
If your money is in a vehicle where it can fluctuate both up and down, well, it's fluid, and there's going to be decisions to make. You're not going to just sit there and watch the Screaming Eagle roller coaster go on forever. Now, you might experience some turbulence, but there's going to be decisions to make, and there's going to have to be some action taken. And you took action. You saw an opportunity with Casino Coin, comparing it to XRP, and I'm speaking for you again, but I'm just trying to keep conversation flowing. In general terms, I could categorize this for most people. You saw opportunity. There were things that were diminishing your confidence for XRP. Maybe it was the SEC, maybe some other variables, and you decided to move and transition, and you can always go back.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. Like, it's not a permanent play. I'm not like, yes, right now I am all in on CSC, like 99.9% of all my assets right now. Like, I liquidated my bet, I liquidated my tell, like XRP, everything is in CSE right now. And
I think it's a great move.
Bold move, Cotton.
It's a bold move, but it's a calculated risk.
Exactly. Yeah.
it.
I mean, I think, like, for me, I would personally be worried about missing the entry point for XRP if it does end up, say like we get the announcement of the settlement or whatever happens, and it's just boom, like, because that's what happened before.
Oh, yeah.
And
No,
so, like,
I'm watching, like,
yeah, no, for sure. But
I'm watching the charts. Like, I'm not going to be left behind. Like, I'm definitely going to pick my bag back up. And, like, honestly, like, that's the thing, is like, we're talking here that, like, CSE lobbies aim to go live very soon, like imminently.
Right.
And that alone is going to bring such a boom to Casino Coin. If XRP is still doing its thing, like, it's an opportunity.
For sure.
Totally.
I think the multiplier effect in CSC is just absolutely massive right now. Yeah, because we're at the point, like, where, because I mean, obviously, and we had talked about this last time, but like, XRP was sub 1 cent at one point in 2017 before it went to $4 almost. Like, there is no reason on earth why that can't happen here. Because, and again, like, at the time, if I remember correctly, the reason why that bull run happened for XRP was because of the announcement of the escrow. And that was an announcement, and it was just speculation. Everyone was like, holy crap, look at this thing.
Yes.
And, it's like, that wasn't even utility yet. Like, imagine, because again, like, and I keep harping on this because I feel like it's so important, but utility is not being priced into anything. I mean, it's not. Like,
that's a great point.
When it does, it will blow everyone's mind. I swear to God. Like, take it to the bank. When utility matters, and it's reflected in price post-regulation, we have, the framework in place, and it's like going live with these big institutions. You have Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan and and BlackRock and all these massive financial Goliaths that are like, all right, it's time, let's put it in. And then they start using it for what it's meant for. I mean, it's going to look nothing like what we see today. Today is just like the Wild West. Everyone's like trying to make money. They're trying to just diversify, get out of the dollar, just try to, like, whatever, hedge the situation we're in. And I get that. And, like, I'm not saying it's wrong, but I am saying that, like, a lot of people are in the wrong place with their money right now.
Yeah,
totally agree.
That's exactly it. And I don't mean to sideball you guys here, but I kind of wanted to use the chart as a reference because, like, we're looking at this here, right? And we see this whole run up and run down and whatnot. And this is like the XRP chart. Well, this is just for since 2020. But if we look at the big chart here,
Yeah.
Like, the little spike we're seeing here, in my opinion, if we were to like,
Yeah. We're
long
right there.
but yeah, I just completely kiboshed it. But like my opinion, like this spike here is going to be like something in here. Like we're just seeing like a drop in the bucket right now. You know what I mean? Like, you know,
Yeah, because at the time, look at that. I mean, that was like, if that's all you had, if that was all the data you had, it's like, oh my God, look at this. We had a 2000x or 2000, whatever it was, percent increase.
exactly.
Yeah, but then that was just the, like, the run up, the test run before the real thing. And even 2017 to some extent, in my opinion, was kind of like the test of what, this could actually handle. If you just know like the background of Ripple, like what they're aiming to do, going after derivatives, going after like all the money, you got to make sure that this thing is capable of holding that kind of weight.
That's exactly it. And like to kind of put things in perspective with the dot-com boom, right? So you turn around, you had this huge run up from the 80s in through the early 90s, and then kaboom, like it just kind of took off, you know what I mean? And then we had the crash down. So like this is the initial run here, and then it comes across, and now like
that is a parabola right there.
That's
Wow.
If I ever saw one.
Like
I gotta say, Codeward, your tabs up top are almost identical to my screen all the time. I was like, am I looking at, did you just pull up my screen? You got BitTrue up there, casinocoin.info, a little Google action. Anyways, I found that quite humorous.
Yeah. But yeah, like that's the perspective that I think a lot of us end up missing out on, is the fact that like, how closely knit we are to the dot-com boom, is that like, yeah, we're going to run into issues where, we're going to have a huge run up and a decline, which I feel like the crypto market is almost on a accelerated path. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like that 2017 run up and crash that we had, or 2018 bull run and whatnot. That's like that little blip on the chart. And like, we are just starting to get into that, like, not even the beginning of the parabola yet. We're still in that little rocky phase. Is it going to happen? Is it going to happen? Like what?
Right.
No.
Yep. And then the euphoria is going to kick in.
Yeah.
It's going to be crazy, man. It's going to be so crazy.
And there's no viable, vehicles or places to put fiat anymore. I mean, you can't gain any interest anywhere. I mean, I always joked around with my dad talking about poker and how I love the game, this, that. I said, one of the things I love about poker just specifically is I can go buy in with $200, $500, whatever the figure is. And within a matter of hours, I can cash out 30%, 50%, 300%. And everything comes down to math and ROI. I knew that I couldn't put my money anywhere and get anywhere close to the percentage of return as I could sitting at a poker table. Now, I studied the game and I have been a student of poker for a long time, and I fare quite well competing with cash games and tournaments. But beside the point, I'm not recommending or suggesting that people go play poker instead of investing in a 401k. But my point was, where, especially today, are you going with fiat? Where? I mean, I think precious metals might be the best alternative outside of cryptocurrency.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. Like precious metals, I think, is where a lot of the, like, I don't really much care for the term, but like a lot of the boomer generation is going to go, where it's, like I'm not hating on it. Like, like precious metals are, a cornerstone of the financial systems. Gold is the longest standing form of money, or,
it's a standard.
Exactly. It is a standard. And I know there's a lot of crypto folk that are like, oh, gold. What about as soon as we find a gold asteroid, it'll okay, but how far away are we from asteroid mining? At least
sooner than you think, probably, but I get your point though.
Okay.
No, hang on. I actually saw something insane today or yesterday. I'm gonna pull it up, but it's a gold chart. Okay, I don't know if you guys have seen kind of like what's going on with gold right now, but
Yeah, I just made it so you can share your screen if you want.
Okay. Well, I don't know if I saw it. Anyway, well, the point, I don't have to bring it up, but the point is though, is that right now, so there's like this descending kind of trend over the last couple of years with gold. There's been this parallel box or whatever traders, chart analysis call it, but
Trend line.
essentially there's this parallel descending pattern. You have like the top and you have the bottom, and it kind of stayed in that zone, but it was going down. It broke out of the top resistance level, retested the top of it as support.
Yep.
And that just happened. So it's like gold is primed and ready to just fly.
Created like a wedge.
Makes sense because it's been really artificially suppressed for a long time. We just had Basel III 2 weeks ago or whenever that was, where they redefined what gold is and how banks have to collateralize all their assets. They can't do the fractional reserve bullshit anymore. They have to, it's like we had this issue back in 2008. We needed to plan for avoiding that from happening again. We need to have backing. And so gold now is a tier 1 asset versus tier 3. I don't even know what that means, but essentially they're redefining that. And so I think that we're going to see some major price movement with gold. If you look at also the debt clock website, where it has all the numbers of like how much debt there is in the world and, or in the US specifically, there's also this part of it that talks about gold price. And it's like gold price today as what you could buy an ounce of gold for right now. But then there's also the price of gold that's defined by the metric that it used to be valued at back in 1913 before they redefined it. And it's like 10 times what it's worth today.
Well, that's exactly it. You see it all the time on Twitter or online, or even where they talk about how JP Morgan has basically suppressed precious metals for decades. And that's the thing is like, it comes to a point where they've just manipulated the market to a point where it's like, okay, they basically run the price down to the point where everybody's basically bottomed out and sold, but
that's the time to buy it.
Well, you can also take the price differentiation between historically between gold and silver, the ratio. Okay.
Yeah.
Silver should be, and I haven't done the math for a couple of years now, but my father and I were silver stackers for quite a while, and still hold precious metals and see the value there as a hedge and lots of reasons, but silver in particular should be $100, $150, $200 an ounce, even just now, just based upon the gold to silver ratio. And it's been so heavily manipulated, but at the same time, central banks are stacking and cleaning the mines out of pallets full of silver. So it's like, what's happening here?
Gold mines.
I mean, exactly. They can't even mine the silver quick enough. And now there's these premiums, these charges on premiums when you go to purchase a sleeve of, $1 tokens or rounds, like $1 gold or silver eagles or whatever, or your generic rounds. There's such a price premium over the spot price, that it's almost a deterrent to even get involved in precious metals right now because of the supply.
Well, that's it. It's almost like a suppression tactic to keep people out of it, because it's like, well, what if I turn around and pick this up, I pay the premium, and the next thing I know, they crash the price. I'm going to freak out and sell as a uninformed investor. And they just basically pick my money up, bottom of the barrel. And then they run the price up, and I'm like, it's running, I got to buy back in, pay the premium. Guess what?
Yes.
Again. You see it in crypto even. It comes with the waves. You buy, like we see too many people buy high, sell low, when it shouldn't even. Yeah.
Well, and it's honestly, when you have people who are hearing about crypto and are like, oh, I keep hearing about it. It's this new thing, and there's all this opportunity there. Let me kind of learn a little bit more about it. And then they tune into like MSNBC or something, and they're like, oh, like buy Bitcoin right now when it's at like an all-time high.
Yeah, exactly.
But when it's at the bottom, they say get away from it. It's
right.
a horrible thing.
It's
no accident. It's not an accident. These people know what they're doing. It's really sad to see, but it's just the way it is. So people have to be smart, and they have to kind of go against the tide a little bit here, but in a way where they have to understand, first of all, what they're getting into. They need to, of course, do their own research and understand what this actually is, because there's so many opinions out there. There's people out there that vehemently disagree with me and my position and you and everyone else. It's like there's some people, it's like they will die on that hill of Bitcoin. They will literally die on that hill, and you can't convince them. There's no way in hell you can bring up any point. But
I seen it just last night on a Twitter post. Like, buddy was talking about XRP, and this dude pops up in the feed talking about Bitcoin, how like, you know, Bitcoin's going to be the standard and blah blah blah. And it's like, what, dude? Like,
what planet do you live on, man?
It's like you have all these comments, and like, you know, the comments are like, you know, a couple likes here, 2 or 3 replies. This guy's got like 24, 25 replies in a sea of like 1 or 2, you know, and like, you turn around and you check the replies, and it's like quite simply like, and that's exactly what you were talking about, where buddy was talking about using the credit card on the back end to speed up the transactions and stuff.
I think we're talking about the same exact comment, because I saw that. I was like, this is insane.
Yeah.
Like, why in the world would you use those mental gymnastics to like prove that point? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Why would you do that?
False hopes and dreams attached to that.
You can tokenize mined Bitcoin on the XRP ledger right now. It's already been done in 2013. Like, there is no reason.
That's exactly it. They were talking about before. Like, XRPL was the first ledger to wrap Bitcoin and have it transacting. And like, that was the thing, is anybody can do it. Right? Like, it's been going for 8 years now, where you could transact Bitcoin on the XRPL.
Yeah.
And like, people turn around and were like so hyped that, Ethereum has been doing it for blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, yeah, XRP kind of beat you to that.
Right.
No, it didn't.
I wasn't even aware of that timeline with 2013.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hamilton brought it up on Twitter.
Wow.
Yeah. And like, it is, I understand why a lot of people just don't get it about XRP, is because of all the NDAs, the media won't talk about it. It's like all these big players, they just avoid even mentioning Ripple because they literally can't. And they have all these NDAs they've signed. And so it's like, it takes just deep digging. And a lot of people don't have either the time or interest to do that, especially when there's 6,000 other cryptos they could be looking at right now. But the truth of the matter is that this thing is built to scale to 7 billion accounts instantly, like now, like it could handle that today. I mean, it's meant to be the better version of Bitcoin, and there have been Bitcoin developers that joined OpenCoin to develop XRP or OpenCoin became Ripple. It's like, literally, these people built Bitcoin, realized, this energy problem, only 10%, if only 10% of the population of the world used Bitcoin regularly, then that would take all the energy on the planet. And that's just not sustainable. So we need to like make something better. And that's what XRP was it's like, okay, we need to just start over. There's no sense in just trying to like tear apart the blockchain of something already built and try to like fix it. That's what they're doing with Ethereum. And like, all these people think, Ethereum 2.0, proof of stake, it's going to change the world. It's like, literally, that's like trying to rebuild the foundation of an apartment building with 50,000 people living in it. Like, that is so dangerous. I mean, maybe they can do it. Like, I'm not saying they can't do it. I'm just saying, why would you even risk? I mean, I get it. I understand where they're coming from, but like, there's something that already works right now, And
Bitcoin is like the old, collector's item Rolls Royce or something. And then you have XRP and Casino Coin that are like the new state of the art Tesla, where, and you can delve into that and then come up with all the different analogies and stuff. But you kind of get my point where, the Rolls Royce is very expensive. It's handmade. Its carbon emissions are not good. The technology is not good. The performance is terrible, but it has that appeal that
Beanie Baby.
It's that name recognition, right? It has it's a Rolls Royce. It's got that name. It comes with elegance and riches. But then you have the Tesla, if you want to compare it to that, which is much more affordable. It's state of the art. It's faster. It's energy efficient. It's green. It's right. I mean, but people still tend to.
Says in chat here, like CSC is better, like smarter, faster, cheaper, greater ROI potential, And like that's exactly it. Like, and
Right.
that's not just CSC, XRP as well. Is ROI potential is just dwarfs what you
Yeah.
could see from like Bitcoin. Like yeah, we see people saying like Bitcoin to $1 million, but like I don't know, man. Like I'm not saying
That's only 33x.
well, and that's exactly it.
That's not unheard of. That can happen in a week in other projects.
Yeah. I mean, it's true.
Yeah.
I think it's possible, but there's also, I just feel like there is so much that you can point at, and just kind of like the G7, the way they're moving, the way all these countries, like, yeah, you have El Salvador, you have a couple of countries that are adopting it, and like that's not something to sneeze at. I mean, that's real. But there's also like the European Union talking about banning proof of work. You have China that already did that. I mean, this is not just like FUD. This is real. If that happens,
Yes.
then it's going to just really hurt Bitcoin. And so, yeah, like you could argue that maybe, well, it's going to be all in the U.S. but it's like the U.S. doesn't even have regulatory clarity yet, and you have half the politicians out there that hate it. I mean, it's just really not, especially when they take the angle of like down with government, down with the banks, down with institutions. We're going to just create our own system, and
yeah, the anarchy.
That's just probably not the best way to reach mass adoption.
Well, think about it. Like it's going the whole route of basically anarchy, right?
Yeah.
Reestablish, like not even anarchy, but like a reestablishment or reformation of the systems. And like I don't mean to get like political or anything in that regard, but if we look at what happened at the start of the coronavirus and stuff, and the Chaz down in States there, that one little community in like
Seattle,
sorry, like
yeah,
how did that turn out?
Right.
That was hilarious to watch that.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, they had their community garden or whatever, and they were like, "Oh, see, look, we can feed each other, and it's wonderful." And like, look over here, we have the communal bathrooms, and it's fantastic. Everyone's getting along, and this and that, and that lasted about.
I went kapoof,
and then it went to hell.
On the flip side, though, related to Bitcoin, I do want to say, I'm by no means an advocate for Bitcoin. I never have been.
Right.
But it is a major driver in the landscape of cryptocurrency. So while I don't support it in so many ways, I do think it's important that we do find some remedies to these issues and allow it to be a viable store of wealth, a viable asset class, in order to propel, in large part, the crypto market as a whole and all these other divisions and branches of the maxis and the whole concept of Bitcoin. I mean, it is a powerhouse. It does have major name recognition.
Yep.
There's a lot of people, there's millions and millions of people who would be more apt to invest in Bitcoin than probably anything else, right? So I think it's important that we do find solutions to make it become more green, to be more cost effective. I'm not saying that it's going to be a competitor when you're talking about XRP or Casino Coin, that they're in categories that will never be parallel. But I do think there's some importance there to give Bitcoin some credit, or to be a cheerleader for Bitcoin in a sense. Yeah. It is very important. It's a major driver.
You raise a great point. I think you're absolutely right. Because if Bitcoin just like went to zero, that would be really catastrophic for really the whole crypto market, and like it would affect everybody. And there are definitely ways that we could prevent that from happening. Like with Flare, for example. What if Bitcoin became an F asset like all these others? And people could just like send their Bitcoin over to the network, stake it for collateral, and then just use that, and then be able to use the Flare DEX to just go between different things, and without even needing to go through Coinbase or anything like that. I mean, that is a solution right there. And then also too, it's like you have already tokenized Bitcoin on the XRP ledger. That's another solution. There's definitely ways where we can, the pre-mined Bitcoin, you can take that out of the market, put it into something like that, and then reap all the benefits of XRP, but then you tap into the customer base of Bitcoin.
Not
So,
even
Right.
customer base,
why not?
the liquidity that's there.
Yeah.
Yes, that's really what matters. And
That's
then
what I'm
how
saying.
rise all
Exactly.
boats.
So
And
like that's exactly it. Like I don't mean to like for anybody watching, like I don't mean to harp on Bitcoin. Like it's I'm not a supporter of it per se, but I'm not going to harp on it. I'm not going to draw it down. Like I'm no maxi by any standard. Like I'm a utility maxi.
Yes,
I'm with you, Codeward.
exactly.
I'm with you. I understand what you're trying to say, and we're all trying to elaborate our thoughts on it. You don't have to. I want it to be successful.
Yeah.
If Bitcoin's successful and can iron out the issues, it brings confidence to the crypto sector. It brings confidence to investors. There's people that are just to use the term elderly. It could mean 40-year-olds. It can mean 80-year-olds. It doesn't matter. They don't want to know everything about crypto. They just want to have a nice hedge. They want to have a store of wealth. They want to put money somewhere. It beats putting it into the traditional stock market. They just want somewhere to go, a vehicle per se for their money. And what better option for that group of people than an asset class like Bitcoin? Truly. I mean, I see the value in it. It's not for me. I'm not suggesting it, but it is relevant. It has major name recognition. It was the first, if you want to call it that, of the pioneer of crypto in a sense of in general standards, I guess, talking, worldwide or globally. We can't have Bitcoin fail, in my opinion. I think that would be detrimental, and I hope the best for Bitcoin. I hope they can iron out the issues. Right now, it's creating so much FUD, uncertainty, all the rest of it, that what if we have the opposite happen?
Yeah, it affects the rest of the crypto
environment, or what if we have the opposite happen and Bitcoin becomes green? Bitcoin becomes more efficient, less costly to transact. It can be integrated onto these different networks and blockchain, or however it's integrated, like using Tyler's examples. That's going to drive the entire market along with XRP and Casino Coin, even advancing further with their own progression.
Yeah.
So I think it's critical, as opposed as I am to it as an investor, and I see its flaws very loud and clear. I think we need to root for Bitcoin. Just my opinion.
Well, that's exactly it. It's like, as Brad Garlinghouse says, is not painting the whole industry with a broad brush, looking for the projects with staying power, because what does he say? A rising tide lifts all boats, right? However, we also got to kind of, let some of them drown.
Right. And I say this with confidence because Casino Coin, XRP, if you want to combine the two, we're in a division, a league of our own anyways. So like, it's only going to better us in the long run with Bitcoin's potential success or continued success. It's only going to advance us further, faster, in my opinion. So, I think we're all in agreement more or less, but
no, I agree. Although arguably, like you do have some folks that are like, well, crash Bitcoin because all that money is going to flow to XRP, which like I get what they're trying to say.
If XRP sets out and accomplishes what its use case is intended for, that will be a non-issue.
Yeah. Right. Its efforts will speak for themselves. Exactly.
Yeah, and if we had a truly level playing field in the crypto space, which we absolutely do not have today, because like the SEC, for example, definitely picked favorites in the past, and like you can point at very clear examples of them doing this, giving Ethereum a free pass in their ICO, and then targeting Ripple. It's like, why in the world would they do that? I have my theories, but like if it was truly a level playing field, then I don't think Bitcoin would be number one. I really don't think it would, because it has all these flaws that other coins just don't. And if it was purely based on utility and like the liquidity and the use case and the volume and all this, like if you really were able to operate to the fullest extent of your intended use, then XRP would dwarf it. And like, and that's not even unheard. Like it's not unimaginable for something like that to happen. XRP flipped Ethereum temporarily in 2017.
You're talking tens of trillions of dollars of liquidity potentially.
Yes.
Well, that's exactly it. Not to steer off Bitcoin here, but Hedzer in chat raises a valid point as well. Like, it all kind of speaks volumes because like right now, even CSC, it's more traded against USD and XRP than it is BTC right now. Like if you look up on, where'd that go? Here we go. Perfect. So I'm just going to go back and share my screen again here a sec. If we go back to the casinocoin.info site, like right here, trading against the pairs. Here's your BTC.
Wow. Dang.
Wow.
6.5 million, not even one BTC has been traded in the last 24 hours against.
Wow.
So then you take a look over at like, USD, there's 68 million. You look at trading versus XRP is another 59 million. Like it just like.
That's really powerful.
Yeah, that is. That's quite the graph there, a chart.
An image speaks 1,000 words. Well, here's a million.
Yeah. I mean, Codeward's not the only one apparently that's trading his XRP for CSC. Look at that.
There you go.
There you go.
Well, that's exactly it. And that's kind of what Blockchain Buyer was mentioning there is that like it comes back down to ROIs, right? Like, the potential ROI is just, that's
why we're here.
Well, here, look, in the stage of the progression that we're into, the stage of the game, like Codeward mentioned, we have the XApp information and that whole aspect launching very soon. More or less what that's going to do likely to the price.
Yeah,
you can't say that about
an air gun right now. I'd just blow your hat off, but like,
you know what I mean? Like we can have great anticipation as to what the likely outcome is of a lot of these major announcements that are to come.
Yeah.
You can't say that about XRP at the current moment in the middle of a major lawsuit with the SEC. I mean, regardless of the outcome of the lawsuit, it's a substantial lawsuit, and it's
like, mind you, what is it? I think it was Elizabeth Warren was basically gave a deadline for like the 28th or something like that. So like, like we don't know what's going to happen, and it could be that like, as we see some of the riddlers saying, I don't know, I have my. We're not going to touch on that, but so as we see, like some of the people discussing on Twitter is like, it's a lot of stuff is probably played out behind the scenes that we don't get to see. And so like, if we see resolution come and then the SEC thing is settled and Ripple gets a slap on the wrist and XRP is deemed the security that even FinCEN has declared it as, then, fireworks, right?
The good news is being on the XRP ledger, just like you moved your XRP over to CSE, in a moment's notice, you're back in the game. You're not waiting 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah,
you're in the game immediately. It's like you never sold.
Especially too when the DEX gets enough liquidity to actually handle that. And you don't even have to do it through something like BitTrue. You can just do it like through XRP Toolkit or something. That is going to also just be, because I mean, you can do it now, but if you send large amounts, it might fail at the moment because there's not enough liquidity. But there will be. There's no doubt about it. Like,
well, no, there is no doubt about it because we've already seen Daniel discussing a push towards DEX liquidity and usage. We're also seeing the talks about that with like Cohen Pass and the development of the DEX XApp.
Yeah,
we got Wheats. There's a huge push going to be going towards the DEX there. And as I've discussed before, I honestly think that very near future, we're going to see even centralized exchanges no longer having their own order books. I personally think that they are all going to start tapping into the DEX due to a regulatory framework. They are basically, we're going to see a lot of centralized exchanges going the way of the dodo, because
Yup.
we don't need
Look at Binance, man. They're getting annihilated everywhere.
Yeah.
It's
And
crazy.
that's exactly it. And I think that's the precedent that's being set is once people see that Binance goes away and markets continue, they're going to realize that centralized exchanges aren't necessary.
But China banned Binance, didn't they, just recently?
They
A couple
did.
days ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Years
there
ago?
was somewhere else that also put a push against them.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean is like once centralized exchanges are gone, like not gone, but like either close their doors or conform to regulatory standards where they offer the same orders, like accessing the same order book via the DEX. Because that's the thing is like we look at what you call it, NASDAQ or like trading, like stock trading. It's one order book.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have multiple,
right?
like
I know what you're
we don't
saying.
have hundreds of stock exchanges all trading different prices and so forth. It's maybe not quite one order book, but it's all sourced from like, NASDAQ and trading services, which like, it's all, for lack of better wording, it's one book.
Yeah.
And
I can understand that the way you're explaining. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. And so I think that's where we're going to see centralized exchanges moving, is that these centralized exchanges are going to be basically portals for the layman. Like, me, like saying me as someone who's never had access to crypto before, I'm like, okay, how do I go and buy XRP? Well, you have all these exchanges, but they all access the same order books. So we don't have, coordinated efforts to manipulate price and so forth.
Well, I do want to touch on your situation real quick, just because it's a great example of you transferring from XRP to CSC. It's coming from my own personal take and what Gambling Savant's all about. The slogan is sharpen your edge, right? So we all want to have an edge in the world of investing, in the world of gambling, sports betting, poker, life in general. You took a calculated risk. You weighed your options. You put pen to paper. You left yourself options at a later date. And you know that with Casino Coin, there's milestones that are being hit. You know the stage of the game. You know the progression, the rate of progression.
Yeah.
You know the substantial, the level of importance of each given announcement. They're getting greater by the moment. Your money is at the moment. I don't know how anybody could argue. You're not paper hands. You're not a trader. You are an effective investor, a smart investor. It's called smart money for a reason.
Yeah.
You are giving yourself the largest potential for ROI with your given situation.
Yep.
Given the current moment. Period. End of story. If somebody wants to argue that, fire away. But you put yourself in the best position possible. And the fact that we are working with the XRPL and we're working with a major lawsuit on the XRP side, when news breaks that Ripple is victorious, guess who's back in the game? If you want to be, Codeward.
Well, and that's exactly it. It's a matter of quick notice. And hopefully by that point, like whether or not it's through a centralized exchange or through the DEX, like it's a matter of seconds to trade stuff over. Like
you're
even
there.
If I were to send CSC to Bitrue, for example, I don't think a deposit has ever taken me longer than maybe 5 minutes.
Right. The goal isn't to lose money, right? So the goal is to appreciate your investment and to realize that ROI. So, we could all bet, and we're all going to bet almost identical related to the Casino Coin Nation. Where's the price movement going? Which direction with these announcements?
Yep.
We're going to say up.
Yep. And
yeah. Let's point. I'm just fighting. No means financial advice, right?
And in chat here, he's like, what is 1 year projection for CSC? He just got some this week. Dude, no price predictions.
But up. And here, look, even if XRP Ripple, I'll say Ripple is victorious in the SEC lawsuit, there's going to be bumps along the way. One negative headliner, even a ruling that doesn't go in favor of Ripple, can drive the price down regardless of the end result of the lawsuit. Yeah. So you're dealing with, you're playing with fire. You're walking on eggshells. That's not the case with Casino Coin. I can't argue your situation, your decision making at all.
Yeah.
Because you can go right back into it in a moment's notice, and you've realized the gains from Casino Coin current day.
Yeah.
And so
well, that's exactly it. And to touch back on the Binance discussion, Tim popped up in chat and said, like, whoever thought that with Binance's success and the smart chain and the sheer size and inroads of the phase that Binance could go away. And that's the thing is, like, we hear the phrase too often, too big to fail. No, there's no such thing. Like,
another layer to this is like banks. I mean, in this future world, where are banks going to play into it? Like, when you can literally hold, and because right now you have your money in a checking account in a bank, right? You get like a 1/10% of interest if you're lucky on that money. But what if you had USDT and Flare that's giving you 3 to 7% interest by staking it? Why the hell would you not do that? Especially when you don't even have to trust a bank, because look at what Wells Fargo just did. They shut down all their credit lines because they know that something is coming, because they don't want to be held with, or they don't want to be left holding the bag when all these people that took out loans can't pay them back. Because they can make a lot more interest on loans than they can by collecting fees and all that. They can get a lot more percentage points. But
agree 1,000%.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if the people can't pay it back. So what do they know that we don't, right?
Well,
what does
the money
know that we don't, that they took chips off the table the other day? I mean, these big institutions know that something is coming, and there's not going to, because like everything is coordinated, everything is just happening at the same time. And that sounds conspiratorial, but look, like XRP is so big. They have all the partners across the entire planet. I mean, you look at all the major financial institutions, all the central banks, they're all together on this. They know that this is going to be the system along with a handful of others. Yep. And that's going to be where we shift. And the fact that Flare is built as a utility fork off of the XRP ledger, and it's bringing all this liquidity, and it can bridge all these assets, decentralized, and it's quantum resistant. And I mean, it's like, there is no way that is not the future, right?
I totally agree.
Where do banks fit into this?
Exactly. Well, listen, the other thing is that, and this may not be 100% matter of fact, but the money that is sitting in the checking accounts right now is essentially digital anyways, with no benefits. Yes. Like it's digital. It's not backed by anything. Yeah. It's inflated and devalued to a large extent.
Yep.
And we don't get to reap the benefits of cryptocurrency and the ledger.
Because at least if you're getting 3% interest on holdings that you're staking in like a digital savings account on the Flare networks or something, on some wallet, then that in of itself is hedging inflation, even if it's USD coin. But you could stake CSC and make interest on that compounds with the value that this coin is increasing over time. Why would you not do that if you're not using it? If you're not actively gambling with it, why wouldn't you have a portion of it?
I have every single CSC token of mine staked.
Yeah. One quick thing here, guys. Sorry to interrupt. Like, I got to pick my girlfriend up for 5, so in about 40 minutes or so.
Oh yeah,
we'll probably cut it in about 10
anyway.
So. Yeah, that's fine. We've been rolling pretty good for a while.
Yeah, we have been, and like, this is what I love. These are the discussion. This is why I like doing the live streams and having the call in, because these are the discussions that I'm looking for.
This has been fun.
Yeah, exactly.
It really has, and as soon as you want to wrap it up, Codeward, I do want to touch back on the community giveaway.
Yes, definitely.
I think it's important. Just understand that the world is round. If you have anything to give, get in contact with Codeward, get in contact with Quad Jacks, get in contact with Tyler or myself. Yeah. You can contact us on Twitter through the Gambling Savant YouTube channel, on Twitter as well. Give something. There's no force behind this. There's no obligation, But if you want to represent yourself and represent Casino Coin at any level, whether it's a few bucks or something more substantial, whatever you can afford, it will come back. This is developing a bond in a community to the extent of which I've never seen before. I truly mean that. There's no fluff in anything I say. You can refer back to my videos. I'm very matter of fact and straightforward. This is substantial. It's a substantial group of people. Yeah. There's lots of talent. There's lots of personality. There's lots of caring and giving and knowledgeable people. And everybody seems to be more or less like-minded in with their intentions and zooming out into the future with just life. And more importantly, our investment in our project of choice here with Casino Coin Nation. So, extend yourself on the Discord app, extend yourself through social media, the means of Twitter or YouTube, and participate. I guarantee you, when you lay your head down at night, you'll feel good about your decision. So get in touch with Codeward. He is the leader of this giveaway, the originator. And I do want to give you a big shout out, Codeward, for your efforts in the community, for your efforts putting out the live stream and inviting individuals like myself. And of course, Tyler, this is what it's all about. This is what gets us out of our comfort zone a little bit and allows us to really grow as individuals and grow as a community and more importantly, Casino Coin Nation. So that's it. Yep. I'm ready to wrap it up if you are. I'm happy to stay on. I think it's been fantastic. Time well spent. Yep. And big shout out to Tyler, a fantastic individual, entrepreneur, and nothing but best wishes to you, Tyler, as well.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Definitely. Thank you both.
You guys too. I mean, it's phenomenal to meet people like you guys. I mean, it really is. And I feel like we'll be spending some time in Vegas together at some point.
Yeah. So. There we go.
All right, man. Yep. But I do got to hop off. But it's been wonderful talk. I won't be able to get on next week, but maybe the week after, whatever.
Hey, no worries. No worries. Like, it's like, I don't expect everybody to like hop on or whatnot. It's just, it's an open line whenever I'm streaming that, if you feel like hopping on, dropping in, saying hi, like, don't even need to chill for like the whole time or whatnot. If you don't want to, you got priorities. I get it. We all have lives.
Right.
So like,
contrary to popular belief, we have lives, right?
Yeah. Well, we hope.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, no, thank you guys for joining. Like, greatly appreciated. And as Fitz says, like, appreciate you guys, and it's very good hearing like other viewpoints, other perspectives on things. It's like sometimes we all get wrapped up in our own mind and our own viewpoints on things, and it's
especially
we hear the term very often online, being in an echo chamber. We very often we want to hear the same thing that we're giving out to give ourselves reassurance. But, sometimes having that opposing views, so to speak, to kind of bring a reality check.
Right.
Absolutely.
So anyways, no, definitely. Thank you guys for joining.
Thank you, man.
I appreciate it immensely. And
and everybody, keep a lookout for the giveaway updates from any of us. I mean, probably all three of us will be posting about it. So just
sure thing.
Oh yeah, no. Once that goes live, as I said, everybody involved, I think, is going to be blasting social media.
Yeah. Everyone will know.
Oh yeah,
it'll be fun.
I think.
Looking forward to that.
Almost would not surprise me if we see more about this giveaway than we did for the swap. No, just joking, but. You know what I mean? I think it's going to be epic coverage because like it gets people involved. It gets people involved from outside the Casino Coin community. I'm hoping that, maybe we can start tagging some gamers or gamblers or whatnot, like pro players and whatever the case, and just kind of bring awareness to the project, because the more awareness we have, the more traction we're going to gain.
Yep. Exactly.
Absolutely.
Well, anyway, guys, it's been a pleasure. I got to hop off, but again, thank you so much, Codeward, for hosting, and we'll do it again soon.
It's been fun, Tyler. Pleasure, man.
All right. See you guys.
Take care.
Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.
All right, Codeward. And once again, big shout out. I'm grateful to be in the space. I'm grateful to be a part of the Gambling Savant or the Casino Coin community, CSC Nation. And between the two of us on YouTube, Gambling Savant and Codeward, we're going to continue to put out great information, valuable content for everybody. I can assure you. I can speak for Codeward on that, I think. So we're in it to win it. And I'll happily be a guest on here anytime. I had a great time, and it's been great to hear your insight and perspective on things as well. So,
yeah, definitely. Well, as I said, like when I do my streams, the line's always open. If people want to join, they are always more than welcome to do so. If you are coming on to bring some heat to other folks there, you know, I'm up for a healthy debate, but if it's going to become toxic, well, I'll probably give you the boot, just fair warning. But, you know, like that's the thing, as I mentioned, though, like I'm not opposed to a healthy debate or discussing topics. Like I know we've seen a lot of the fudsters and trolls on Twitter. Like, you know, I'll discuss these points. Like I know what I hold. I know what I like. I have a very good idea of what Casino Coin's bringing to the table, at least from my perspective of things. And like, you know, that's exactly it. Like I love the community. I love the people. And yeah, shout out to Gambling Savant. Thank you for joining, bud.
happy to. Let's stay on the trail, man.
Yeah, definitely.
I had a great time.
Yeah.
Everybody enjoy your day. Codeward. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll be in touch shortly, man.
Yeah, sounds good, bud. Enjoy.
Take care.
And yeah, thank you everyone else for joining on the stream here. Again, line's always open for anybody else who wants to join, but as of today, I'm going to call it because, well, that's about 3.5 hours so far. So anyways, thank you guys for joining. I greatly appreciate everyone for coming out and talking up in the chat. I'm sorry if I didn't get to everybody's points, but I appreciate all the same. Yeah. If you guys want to chat more, I'm always available on Twitter, Discord, or whatnot. Yeah, otherwise I'll try to be available next week. And again, I do got to work things around my girlfriend's schedule as well. So we'll see how that all works out. So anyways, thank you all for joining. Much appreciated. And stay tuned for that giveaway coming. I think it's going to be one heck of a epic giveaway. So yeah. Anyways, you guys all have a great Saturday. Spend some time with your family. And, you know, thanks for coming out. Yeah, definitely. You guys too. And I'll see you in the Discord.